Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Postgame, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostag. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PPR Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican Postgame Report. What's poppin', fam? Thank y'all for being here on the latest episode of the Pelican Postgame Report. I am Big Q. I got my co-host DC in the place to be. Much love to y'all. Appreciate y'all. Good to see y'all, man. As the season is back, we are back, man. We ready to talk about some Pelicans. Tonight's stream, man, listen, we coming at you kind of a little later. Had some technical difficulties, but we appreciate you guys being patient and being there as we getting ready to kick off the 2023-24 season for your New Orleans Pelicans. We're going to react tonight from several interviews. It was the New Orleans Pelicans Media Day, and this is the Media Day reaction show. Now, we can't play all of the interviews, but we have our picks and chooses of some of the ones that we deem as important that we'll cover on this episode of the Pelican Postgame Report. So, you know, y'all sit back, relax. We're going to talk about all this. So shout out to the fan. Appreciate each and every last one of y'all. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We up in this thing. DC, how you doing, brother?
About as good as I can be, man. Not very, very good time for New Orleans sports, but hopefully the Pelicans can change things.
Indeed, bro. Yeah, we've been talking about it on the coma. Matter of fact, later on tonight, we got a sports coma coming at you. Tomorrow, for our Patreon family members, we got Boston Globe reporter coming in to talk about the New England Patriots to preview the Saints and Patriots matchup. That'll be on our Patreon stream. So y'all feel free to go to the sports coma and click on that so you can be able to catch up on that. He'll be covering it. The man covered the Boston, I call them the Boston Patriots, but he covered the New England Patriots for, I think it's 16 years. He's been covering them for, I think it's either 16 or 19 years, but he's really intelligent on them, man. We can be able to go over some deep game about the Saints and the Patriots matchup this upcoming weekend. So that'll be cool. But anyway, shout out to the fan. Appreciate y'all. Brother Aramis, always dropping the science. Thank you for your super chat, my friend. You are locked into all things Pelicans. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Much love to you on that. And let me hit the button for you, brother.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Had to let Jigga talk to you for a second, but shout out to you. Appreciate all y'all for being in the building. Much love to everybody. Appreciate you. My girl Lexa is in the stream as well. Appreciate her for stopping by. And Lexa, man, we got drop some science with Lexa. And she'll be drunk. Listen, man, we're going to do this and roll out an advertisement for it, but Lexa is going to be a part of the Pelican Postgame Report podcast family. She'll be doing
Yeah.
so Alexa's great wealth of information, and she's a beautiful soul, and she's really talented, and it'll be very cool to have her to join and be a part of the family. So much love to her, and thank all of the rest of the family members for jumping in and dropping by. Josh Pelicans, Nola, Josh in his bag, Stephanie, good to see all y'all in here. Maul and Maul, what's popping, baby?
Oh,
Maul and Maul says, "Q, the Pelicans might give us therapy away from the Saints." Let's be careful with that right now. You know what I'm saying? Because it could. We gotta watch and see how it all plays. But anyway, y'all.
Pelicans, they always have us flying pretty high, bro, until about January. January, they be trying to land a plane, you know.
Well, I hope it's not the
this
case.
year.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case, DC. We really do need some positive stuff popping for us with the Saints acting crazy. But anyway, let's get into it, man. I guess we will start with this. You want to go into the article first, or you want to start with the interviews? How you feel about it? What you want to do?
I guess we can start off with the interviews, man, and then go into the article.
All right, so we're gonna get right on into the interviews, and we're gonna start off with Mr. David Griffin. Let's start with Griffin, man. You know, he's the top of the boat, man. He's the captain of the ship. We're going to listen to this. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear Mr. Griffin talking. You put one in the chat.
I know we've all taken some time here today. One of the things I definitely want to touch on that I think in their own way, both Trajan and Willie talked about, and I think it's the word excitement comes up too often this time of year. Everybody's undefeated right now. Everybody thinks they're going to be really good. I think where we're really unique is we're really optimistic coming off of a year in which the first part of the year when we were healthy, we were very, very good. And the second part of the year, as we closed the last 12 games, we played very well. I think we were 9-3, and Brandon Ingram led the NBA in scoring in that period of time in total points. We have pieces that can be really dynamic and can win together. They haven't done a lot of it. And I think everybody understands that we've got a lot to prove. We are really blessed. Both Willie and Trajan mentioned this. Mrs. Benson and her management team are amazing in the fact that they've given us the ability to have continuity, that they've given us a stable backdrop. I heard the question raised to Trajan about the tax. There's never been a mandate to us to stay out of the tax. This is all based on results. And this team has a lot to prove to each other. We have a lot to prove on and off the court, but what we're not going to worry about is things like that. Our results are going to dictate outcome, and I think we have a group of players that understand that. Trajan alluded to a lot of the changes that we've made, both in terms of coaching staff, and I know Willie explained a lot of that. Also, the medical team. Willie talked about the conversations we had where we had to take a hard look at the things we do well and those that we don't. And I think we've been humble enough as an organization to make a lot of changes in areas we needed to. One of those areas is Trajan is actually going to be the one on a day-to-day basis that's the key component of the medical team from our front office staff. He'll be the one handling that. And I'm already excited by the changes that have been made there because of it. I think when you have a former player in a position like that, they bring a certain level of passion to it that's different. And a big part of that was listening a whole lot more and being less dogmatic and more willing to be flexible. It's funny, Willie and I think oftentimes are similarly old school in a lot of ways that we look at things. We're going to earn what we earn. That's not an area where we can fall into that. It's an area where we need to be much more willing to be flexible. And I'm grateful that Trajan was ready to do that and excited about it. I think what we've done coaching staff wise, Willie alluded to his relationship with Coach Borrego. It's always difficult when you add a coach to an already good coaching staff. Jaron Collins had already interviewed for head coaching jobs. Fred Vinson is as good at his piece of this whole thing as anybody can be. Casey has been tremendous in his role. And I think it's very difficult when you add somebody to that group, unless the guys that are the holdovers really embrace it. And I think that's the thing that excites me the most is the human beings we have here. Everybody just wants to win. Everybody's selfless enough to realize it doesn't really matter whose role is what. What matters is we find a way to win. And I think it's a tribute to Willie that he puts that mindset into everybody. I think it says a great deal about the caliber of human beings. Trajan mentioned that earlier. The one thing about continuity when you haven't had a healthy group is A, you have optimism that when they're healthy, they'll be good. But B, you know that they interact well and their chemistry is good as a group. And this team has always really cared about each other. And so, with that as a backdrop, it gives you a great deal of energy to move forward in a positive way and have optimism. So, again, we look at this as a really big opportunity for us, but also one where we're not hiding from anything. We know we have a lot to prove. And I think, again, ownership has afforded us the opportunity to have stability, and we're grateful. But there has to be a payoff for that in our fan base. And I know people are ready to see this group come together. I know our players are ready to see it. Coach mentioned CJ McCollum. His offseason is absolutely amazing from the standpoint of what he's been doing to lead us every day in the gym. Coach talked about the condition he's in, the conversation they had at the end of the season that helped sort of propel CJ into that. It certainly didn't hurt that the CBA got settled. That helped us a lot. I think he was spending a lot of time on that as well. But I'm grateful that is behind us now. But more than anything else, just excited with the way that a guy that we intended when we acquired him to be very much a team leader has led by example. In much the way that Herb Jones has always led by example. He's not terribly quiet. I'm sorry, he's not terribly vocal. Quite the opposite. He's not terribly vocal, but he's a very quiet leader, and he's doing everything he needs to do to show guys the right path in terms of effort, grit, and grind, and the types of things that like you want a team to represent. He brings that every day. So I think kind of low key, we've got a simmering leadership group there. And I think relative to Brandon, he's another player who's going to hit the ground in elite condition this year from a basketball perspective, which is exciting. Some of you have heard me say this before, but what Brandon has historically done is lift pretty heavy. And then when he plays in training camp, he's sort of playing on the new body because he didn't want to lose weight before camp started. He wanted to keep the strength. So now he's going to hit the ground running and I think have a rhythm and a stasis physically that's important for us. It gives us a great deal of optimism for sure. Everybody has alluded to Zion. Zion is obviously in good condition. The thing that I think is important is CJ and Brandon throughout their careers have always employed people on their own that take care of their body, that take care of their nutrition. They're doing 2-a-days when they practice with us. They'll be working with their own people at night, and they're really vested and invested in their profession. And this was the first summer where we've seen Zion really take his profession seriously like that and invested off the court on his own in a way that I think is meaningful. So I don't want too much to be made about being in our gym. I want it to be that he found a level of commitment that was important, because that's really significant. If you look at all of the best players in this league, they all make it a focal point in their life to invest in keeping their bodies healthy and keeping themselves in peak condition. And I think we have 3 guys in our big 3 that are now doing that, which is extremely encouraging. Jonas Valanciunas has always done that. Jonas is coming off of his 17th straight international competition because he believes that's the best way to keep himself in condition. But he's also employed somebody pretty much his entire NBA career to help him take care of his body. He has his own physio that he's used throughout. So again, more of that investing in the process, and JV's always been about that. So we're encouraged that we have a group that is what they are. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to see Trey Murphy to start camp. The downside of that is also a blessing and a curse. The downside is we won't see it. The blessing is he's going to continue to be able to lift and get stronger and improve the things that he worked on. Immediately before he got injured in our gym, the one thing you saw in Trey was the work he put in this offseason. His body's different. He can take a little bit more contact and finish at the rim a little bit better. He's able to sit and slide a little bit better. And I think to a huge degree, while it's awful we're not going to have him early, this might actually help him continue to work in that area and get stronger and be more physically capable of competing and keeping his additional weight on. So there could be a blessing in that. The downside to Jose Alvarado, obviously, is that you lose Grand Theft Alvarado and all the energy he brings to us. The positive is Dyson Daniels is going to get an opportunity, and he's worked his ass off this offseason with the national team. He's looked really good in our gym. Kyra Lewis has looked outstanding in our gym. So these things provide opportunity for people. Larry Nance not being able to start camp right away is an opportunity for both Cody, who didn't need it. He's got finals experience. But for EJ Liddell to show us that he's finding a way to impact winning and losing, and we've seen that in our gym every day. Coach alluded to, and the question was asked about Herb Jones, a small ball 5. We've gotten to see that in our gym, and maybe we'll get to see more of that sort of by necessity, and that could be a blessing. One of the things that happened last year,
Wow, this
and
guy.
I don't think
long
this has been touched on enough, and I know I've talked about it. The whole idea of the load management thing is thrown out the window when you're just trying to find 8 healthy bodies. And Coach Green and his staff managed to find a way to
No
plug
more
a lot of
spurts.
holes and keep us competitive and give us a winning season when they didn't know from day to day who they were going to have. And what that says about them.
Good grief, man. Good Lord. This guy here, man, he don't take any pauses, any breaks. This dude more long-winded than me, man. I think I found somebody that got me beat, DC. Good Lord, man. Well, that's how I sound when I...
You don't like beautiful word salad?
Oh, my. Good Lord. You ain't got no breaks or pauses in
Man,
that.
this sound like a Hall of Fame induction speech, man. All this positive credit for everybody. Did we win the championship? What's going on here?
My goodness. Yeah, he doesn't stop. I was trying to wait to pause it so we can kind of react to what he's saying, man. But listen, good grief. Is that what I be doing to people? Good Lord. Anyway, man, listen, man, we're going to bring Lex and DC been listening to me. All right. Yeah, Jordan, you're absolutely right. Good Lord, man, stop and take a breath every now and again. Good Lord. You ain't human, bro, to be talking like that. But anyway, listen, man.
He got a third set of lungs, bro. You know.
Oh, he got his lungs. He got great lungs, man. Anyway, Lexa, how you doing, baby? Welcome to the stream.
Hey, what's going on with y'all?
Good. Did you catch all of that? Did you get an earful of all of that? Good
you know what? I actually lost track. Like, what was he talking about again?
All I heard was he said they throwing out the window with the player with the way they rehab and come back. So that means no more spurts. I got excited. Everything else I ain't hear neither.
I mean, he just talked about a lot of things. He was rambling. So, I mean, that's Dr. Octopus for you.
Who came up with that stuff, man? That's messed up. But listen, this is some of the stuff that I did get from him because I was trying to wait for him to pause so we can kind of jump in there and comment on some of the things he was saying. But, he's just, I don't know if that's just his mechanism. He's given a lot of information, and a lot of this stuff, we just listened to him talk. Maybe what was that, DC, a couple of weeks ago when he did a presser, and we were able to go over some of that. So he's kind of regurgitating some of the talking points from that particular press conference. But I think one of the key things that we're going to move on to, I think we're just going to move past this one because I think he gave us enough. We're going to kind of get to Trajan Langdon, but based on with some of the stuff that we did hear from David Griffin, DC, it's not really nothing new. It's pretty much the same stuff that I heard from him a couple of weeks ago when he did the presser at I think it was the quarterbacks club or whatever it was, the athletic club interview that he did on the presser we did on the previous stream. So nothing really new here for him. But I think what I want to see is like going forward from David Griffin, him even take even more of a hands-off approach and allow some of these other guys. And we've been saying this for years. And it's good to see that they are listening, but they hard-headed as hell, man.
And they like 3 years too late, bro. We could have fixed this with Alvin Gentry and all that. We could have fixed this that first year.
We said this.
Better late than never, right?
Right. Eventually, but it's cool we hearing it. But let me hear from you guys. Lexa, let me hear from you first. What do you think David Griffin needs to do this year in terms of his approach from previous years? What is something new that you think he should do going into this season to kind of help the Pelicans kind of find ground and do their thing? What do you think he needs to do better?
Oh, I think he definitely needs to cut out the fluffery, all the, I guess, distractive sentences, words, whatever, that
would be too
human being type stuff. One thing that I did learn is that his PPR skills did not get better. I mean, this kind of sounds like what he's been doing, as far as, just being confusing, not being transparent. And that's what I see. Like he really has not changed in that regard. Um, I don't know. I think he's in his own way right now. He's really, he's kind of in his own little world when he comes to hearing himself talk. But yeah, just as far as handling, like, just with the PPR, or not PPR, but the PR, as far as, addressing things, he hasn't grown in that department to me.
Yeah, that's and I'm listen. I love information. I really do. I love information, but digestible information. It's like
Yeah.
if you're giving the stuff to the people, but break it up a little bit. That's like you going to a restaurant somewhere and you getting ready to eat, and the guy just comes to start pouring food on your plate, and then he gets some guys from the back and grab you, and you're not eating enough, and they just grab you and yank your head back and just start stuffing biscuits down your throat. I mean, it's too much, and then it's not even nutritious stuff that they feed you. It's like a bunch of, like you call it, fluff that we've heard before. You just regurgitating talking points, but I think my sticking point, DC. I want you to chime in here, bro, and tell me what you I already know what you're gonna say. But my figure thinking on it is, and I've said this, and I made kind of fun of Dr. Octopus, and because he's a micromanager, and Trajan Langdon, with his stuff, and it's kind of a weird because you had this picture DC showed me. Let me see if I can put it up.
You want to put it up? That's the picture for the article. Look how Treasure looking at him, bro. David Griffin looked like he got his hand caught in a cookie jar or something.
He looked like, hey man, that is not what we discussed in the back. Why are you changing it up once we get in front of all these people?
Say, bro, I told you, if you do this one more time.
Bro, that looks, the way he's looking. And then listen, family, remember Trajan Langdon tried to leave here this past summer, man. He tried to get the hell out of Dodge. He wanted to take the Washington job. He didn't get the job. Somebody chose him, and he came back here. So, if it was a great job, and I was like, listen, the Pelicans to me are in a better position than the Washington Wizards. At least I think so. So, they traded Bill, and they are a young team trying to build up again. So it don't appears to be a really good job. It's like you're going to be forced to whatever, I think you'll have more success here, but for him to think about wanting to leave to go there is just kind of eye opening. But DC, go ahead. What do you think Doc Ock got to do? I mean, David Griffin has to do to kind of change his his ways of doing things from the past to endure, or to kind of give us ability to have more success into the near future and beyond.
Well, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, bro. But I do got to commend him, man, for at least trying. Like, he's slowly but surely been stepping in the right direction by moving back, taking his hands off of certain areas, and kind of leaning to his area of expertise. When we need to be deceptive, when we need some nice word salad, and we need somebody to go out there and say a whole bunch of nothing and deliver a message without really delivering a message, you can go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? But when it's not really needed for you to jump in front of everything and have your hands on everything, and I would have to say, going back to maybe it's the ending of the season before last or the beginning of last season, we saw a change in him. And now you have Trajan Langdon, who's going to run all the injury information dissemination. I think that is great.
Hey.
To get David Griffin out of that, because the biggest disappointment with the Pelicans, man, not only the fact that Zion kept getting hurt, but it was just the constant lies that we have to deal with about the timeline and all these bursts. And he's ramping up to 2-on-2 and 3-on-3 and 4. Just don't tell us that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody really wanted the excitement about nothing, only to find out that he's not even going to play. And then people go and they draw all their theories on, okay, it's being done so they can keep the ticket sales and this and that. But it's created a whole bunch of problems. And like Lexa said, David Griffin just getting in his own way, running his mouth when it could have been easily dismissed or handled better, similar to the way other teams do it. Some of it is obviously going to be strategy. You don't want to tip your hand, whether Zion will play or not, for game planning, but just the way they went about a lot of the injury stuff, I think was some of the biggest disappointment with the Pels, and I guess one of the biggest problems that the fan base had. But nobody wasn't totally mad at Zion. It was just the fact that they play with our intelligence and continue to lie to us. So you have Trajan Langdon in control of that this year, so we don't have to deal with David Griffin. So I would say that is a step in the right direction. So shout out to him for that, man, for recognizing some of his problems and at least trying to fix some of it. But Rome wasn't built in a day, so he's still gonna call everybody human beings. He still ain't used to living on this planet, however long he been here. But good to see some change.
Yeah, that's very strange. I've never heard human beings keep referring to human beings. So I just thought it's very funny. But let's move on to the next one, fam. Let's jump to Trajan Langdon, DC. And that's really a big positive, by the way. You talked about David Griffin allowing Trajan Langdon to actually do his job more. That's really a step in the right direction. That's a big eye-opening moment that a VP is allowing his general manager to do what he's supposed to do in terms of handling the injury situation, kind of taking more of a hands-off approach. Perhaps trust, besides that picture that you showed me, perhaps he's trusting Trajan Langdon a little bit more to operate, because Trajan's a smart dude, man. You need to let the man, do his thing, man. He knows what he's doing a lot. Take the the restrictions away and let him do his job. That's all we can say.
My man Slim South 504 said he took off the tentacles. He don't
Okay,
have hands. He has tentacles, so he wanted to correct you on that. Or correct me. I'm sorry if I misspoke.
Okay, oh my bad, bro. Take off the tentacles so the man can be free. All right, here go Trajan, man.
Exciting time for us and all 30 teams. First day of this new NBA season. So we're excited, very, very excited about it. Obviously a lot of continuity with our roster, but really, really good people, and we were excited about our team last year. I think there's some bitter taste in the mouth of all of our players after the way that we ended last year, just with the injuries, and didn't get to show what we truly were capable of. So I think there's some chips on the shoulders of a lot of our players coming back, and they've really worked hard. They've been in the gym. Obviously we've had like I said, a lot of continuity. Our only additions are Jordan Hawkins through the draft, and then Cody Zeller, who we're excited about adding that veteran element in the front court from the time that he spent, all over with Charlotte a lot, but obviously ending the year last year with Miami, I think was huge for him, and it's going to be a big experience with him coming in and being one of the leaders of our group this season. So, but going back, obviously the experience in the summer league with Dyson, with Jordan, EJ getting some run, I think was good for those three guys. When we thought it was successful, 5 games in Las Vegas for us to see those guys get a little bit more run in that competitive environment. And then, after that, we had a lot of our younger players in the gym in August with some of our coaches and, doing some small stuff, getting some shots up, getting some work in. But those guys have really put some time in. And then after Labor Day, that gym's been popping, especially the last 2-3 weeks, with the majority of our players being in, playing some pickup on their own and really pushing the gym on their own. So those guys are really excited about being back, about kind of taking a step forward. Some of the players that are in minor roles are going to try to step up and be bigger pieces on our team going forward. And again, we have a couple guys that are going to be out of camp at the start. Trey, obviously, everybody saw the release with his having knee surgery a few weeks ago. Jose and Larry won't start camp on the first day, but hopefully we'll have them for the opening game of the season against Memphis. That's the hope. Obviously, you never know what happens, but they should be on track to be back before that first game. So excited about some additions on our coaching staff with Coach James Borrego, Coach Aaron Miles. I'm sure later when Willie's up here, he'll allude to them. but he's has relationships with them from before. Obviously, James was a coach here when Willie played, and then he and Aaron were together on the staff in Golden State. So, two guys that we're excited about when everybody gets together here in the next few days, seeing the different defensive sides, and what we're going to implement with the new group. One further addition is Amy Atmore, who's our director of rehabilitation and recovery for our performance team. But other than that, a lot of continuity, a lot of good people who are super excited about being back and starting this season. So that's all I got. So if you guys have some questions for me, I'll open it up. Yeah, I think having the majority of the coaching staff that's back, and obviously, like you said, Will, our players, and especially our core group that's back, is you can hit the ground running quicker. Not only from being able to implement different schemes on offensively and defensively, but also the players know each other. They know where they like the ball on the court. They know how communication. A lot of times it's not words. A lot of times it's body language and doing things with your eyes or head nods and stuff like that. And you just pick up things faster. So hopefully, we'll be ahead of the pack when we start up on opening night.
All right, so let's pause it right there. A lot of stuff that Trajan said, man, and let's get some reaction from DC and Lex on that, man, because it's interesting. He did mention Amy Atmore as being the new director of rehabilitation. And of course, if you remember, shout out to Rail Wright, who's our key contributor on the WhoDatDaily.com, wrote an article covering the release of the information about the new people that was signed to the Pelicans in the basketball operations side, and in terms of the health side of it. She was a person that I kind of looked into, see who she was, and she'll be available. So that was one of the key decisions that I was looking for before the season started. Who would fill that role? And I don't know. I was looking at her background, and I won't say it's as, I don't know if it's as diverse or as expert or whatever, however you want to phrase it, than what's his name, Aaron, who is they held on as, what is he, just an some type of analyst, or not an analyst, but like an assistant. Aaron L, his
consultant.
Yeah, like right, and his what is vice president? His title is vice president of player care and performance. So he's underneath. He's assisting Amy. So let's talk about that, man, because that's a move. Let's cover that, because that is very important and key to our squad dealing with all injuries. So Lex, if you please lead us off on that.
Okay. I guess just looking at everything, it's glad. I'm glad to see change. It was needed. I think it's kind of weird how, all the men got demoted and they fired Teaspoon, but we won't talk about that. but yeah, definitely. I think it's great that they brought her on, just to, I don't know, get some new ideas, connect with the players more, and keep, players healthy. But I don't think it's just on, Amy Atmore. I think it's also on the players as well. I think it's just a collective, but to be able to see the guys on the floor, like if they do suffer injuries, because injuries are going to happen, a sprained ankle, whatever. But we just need them to get back out on the floor like sooner than later, and then hopefully they don't have that 2 week. I know what I'm talking about. The 2 week.
Oh yeah, the ramp up.
Yeah, the ramp up.
Yeah, that's like a club.
I don't ever hear any other team talking about that.
Right.
I mean, I've never I always look at other teams and I'm like, okay, like I know Jason Tatum, like I know during the playoffs he got hurt. He went in the back and came back out, and like 5 minutes later, I'm like,
Oh
why
no, we
can't
can't do that with Zion.
why can't the Pelicans do stuff like that?
We gotta protect his
I
future, Alexa.
mean, it's like I don't know. It's just I think the mentality and the whole thing, like obviously there's a difference between being hurt and being injured. No, you can play with being hurt, but if you're injured, it's like you can't play at all. So it's like I guess you gotta the wordplay there. We need to understand, like, okay, when you say hurt, that means you can come back in the game, right? And play and finish the game. Or are you injured, like you tore something, or I don't know. But I'm glad those changes were made. We need to try something different. So I'm glad they made the change, and hopefully it works, because obviously, the change doesn't mean anything if it doesn't work. So
That's
You
right.
know, that's my thought process. If it don't work, then man. But listen, let me keep it moving because DC, I'm gonna give you a chance to answer that, bro. Let me give a little backdrop on Amy Atmore because she's key to this. This is key because we had Aaron Nelson here.
Can we have a small little intermission, bro? I just want to drop a
Catch
little tiny commercial, man. I want to promote your new album coming out.
Okay, I don't have a new album coming out, brother. What you talking
This
about?
is Q. Yo,
Okay.
on his new R&B album, he goes by the name Gregory Porter, and he has a
okay.
hot new single called "Hold On," brought to us by Pelicans Nola. He made sure to remind me of that, man. That I need to go
Gregory
ahead.
Porter.
Yeah, that's you, bro.
I don't know who you talking about, brother.
That's you.
What?
You don't remember when you did that?
Brother, that
Look
dude
at Q.
looks nothing like me, brother. That dude don't look nothing like.
That's where Q had some hair, y'all. You see, he had some dreadlocks tucked up under there.
You can't tell what he got, man. You don't look. You don't
That's
look like
you, man.
bro. What are
What?
you talking about,
Back
bro?
when you had nice glistening skin, what that was makeup,
Oh,
bro.
Skin?
wow.
That was makeup, huh?
Dude, what are you talking about? That guy looks nothing like me. Nothing like me, man. I'm Will Guillory, and next moment I'm Gregory Porter.
Man, you
Hell,
all over the place. Hey, look, everybody here who know Big Q, y'all know that he's a man of many hats. So this shocks nobody.
all right,
This don't
DC.
shock
Okay,
nobody, bro.
all right, DC.
No, you go ahead and talk about the reportedly. We'll play your single next time.
Thank you. All right, Amy Atmore has spent the past 3 seasons in the private sector, where she was primarily worked with the NFL players. Had previous NBA experiences. She worked for the Suns back in 2019, 2020 with the background in physical therapy. Her focus is on developing rehabilitation plans, formulating injury prevention plans, and rehabilitative care. So yeah, formulating some injury prevention plans. I love the sound of that.
Yeah,
And
I
get
do too.
care. That sounds like she got a plan. That's what I'm talking about. To me,
Yeah.
and she says Atmore already has a lot of work to do when training camp begins next week. Matter of fact, Trajan did mention that she does have that he's helping her with that. 3 players will be unable to suit up because of injury. We know it's Trey recovering from a right knee injury that had likely prevent him from playing until November. I think they said mid-November or whatever. Backup point guard Jose Alvarado, reserve center Larry Nance Jr. Meanwhile, are recovering from ankle injuries. Both are expected to resume basketball activities in 2 to 3 weeks. The Pelicans said, Thursday. A return to play timeline that should have them both back on the court for the team October the 25th regular season openers for those guys. So a little background drop on Amy Atmore, and yes, indeed, the Pelicans went all the way down to the line, so to speak, to add us. So go ahead, DC, chime in, brother. What do you think about that?
Well, I think any change at this point, man, is obviously a positive. What we've done in the past definitely, positively, absolutely does not work. It's not worked for Zion. It hasn't worked for Bi, and we've seen the same thing trickle down with our other players as Herb. I think he took a long time to come back from his injury as well. Dyson Daniels took way longer. Basically, whatever it takes other teams' players to come back, you just multiply it by 2 or 3 for us. And that's usually when our guys come back. So the fact that we decided to change that, going to Amy Atmos, who's actually a physical therapist, and it was shocking to me. I didn't realize that the Pels never had a physical therapist on staff. I had to reread that through a lot of the information that was being put out.
That would explain a lot.
Man. And I'm like, so wait, so we never had any physical therapists on staff?
That,
And it was like,
that would
no.
explain That would explain a lot, DC.
That does
And the
explain
players
a lot.
complained about that. They complained about that. Now I get why so many of those guys got their own team. Even they're gonna do that anyway, but it's just like they were kind of distant from the team when it comes to injuries. And lo and behold, we found out the damn Pelicans had no physical therapist. Man, that's crazy. So why would you want to be in the building rehabbing your injury if we ain't got no physical therapist? That's
Almost had to force the players to go outside to get their
right
own, medical team and stuff. But that's what actually a lot of the bigger stars, that's what they do anyway, is they have their own teams and go to outside sources,
Yeah, but they usually would at least have some direction and a good foundation inside, and then they can go get the hyperbaric time chambers, do the injections, do all the things they can't get there. But maybe above and beyond type things you can go and apply your money to with other players. But man, you got to do that for the bare minimum or just to get your foundation.
DC,
and then you got to turn around and do that for the other stuff as well.
DC, I got a quick question, brother.
What's up?
What's a hyperbolic time chamber? Is that a Dragon Ball invention?
Well, that's that thing that LeBron get into and Michael Jackson used to use when they go to sleep at night and they pump it full of oxygen. Man, it's supposed to oxygenate.
It's called a hyperbolic time chamber.
That's what I call it. You got a better name for it?
No, I was saying that sounds.
You got a better name for it?
Bro, you watching too much Dragon Ball, bro.
Yeah, that's my show, bro. That's my show, bro.
Okay, I got you, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry to interrupt you. But I just had
it worked just like the hyperbolic time chamber, except they ain't got no water.
Okay. I did. I got you on that. Okay, brother, I got you. All right, so let's move.
What would you call it? Good
I was just asking because it sounded like something that I heard somewhere else.
And next time on this episode of Dragon Ball PPR.
There you go. All right, let's go to Willie, man. Here go Willie. His thoughts on getting into the season. Coach Willie.
To kind of process last season, what were some of your takeaways from last season and things you guys, could do to hopefully get in the playoffs this year?
Sure. I thought we put together a solid year. Had a great start. We had some bumps in the road towards the middle of the season, obviously with health. But, it's a credit to our entire staff, our players, to fight through adversity the way we did and to put together a winning season was pretty cool to see. Now, with that being said, I still feel like we fell short of our goal. And that's the disappointing part to the season. So solid year, another year, a step in the right direction, but we definitely feel like we have unfinished business.
One of the big moves we saw in your staff was the addition of James Borrego as associate head coach. I was just wondering, can you just share whatever you can about that relationship of before he was hired and why he came aboard?
Sure. JB and I were together here in New Orleans when I played here my first season here. We were together again in Orlando when I played for the Magic. And just briefly about him, I was going after someone with high character, heart, treat people with respect. And then he comes to the game with an offensive lens that I just felt we needed. I felt I needed. And I think he's going to be a huge component to elevating our program, especially on the offensive end.
And Trent mentioned how hard it is to evaluate when your three best players only played 10 games together last season. How much are you looking forward to just getting back to that process of figuring out how those three guys mesh and what it takes to win at a high level?
We're all excited to get this group back on the floor. In the brief games that all of our guys were healthy and played, it was fun to watch more than anything. And that's exciting to see a larger scope of what we can do. So, we got work to do. We'll get back to the floor tomorrow and go from there.
How much are you able to use that experience from last year to kind of build on going into training camp?
All of these experiences that we go through, you sit back, you learn from them, you listen, and it's an opportunity for growth. And so
that's where we are. Is what did we do well? What can we do better? How can we continue to improve? And that was our off season. That's how we spent our off season.
Large amount of roster continuity. Do you feel like you're going to be able to hit training camp at a little bit of a faster pace in terms of not spending as much time laying down the foundation and kind of progressing to where you need to be?
I think we will. That's the beauty in bringing a team back that is pretty much the same team. You know, we have some few players that we added, few staff that we added, but for the most part, the core group is together. So it should give us a head start.
Willie, injuries seemingly already on the top of your mind, especially considering Trey might be out for quite a while.
Yeah.
How are you going to approach this season in terms of how you're going to replace his production, especially since I guess you're going to rely on his scoring off the bench and that three-point shooting? Are you going to have to deviate from your game plan at all, maybe make up the offense somewhere else?
We're definitely going to miss Trey, and his ability to shoot the cover off the ball is what he does. You guys have seen him in games. So that's tough. Number one for him. It's tough for us, but also it's not an injury that we believe will, keep him out for the season. So hopefully he can continue to rehab and be on the right recovery path. But there's opportunity in injuries. And so it's going to be collective. It's not just on one of our guys that's coming in off the bench. It's not just on the starters, but it's on all of us to collectively just do a bit more. With that being said, we're hopeful that we don't have to change how we play. We want to continue to develop how we play. I think we're moving in the right direction defensively, and now offensively, we want to continue to do the same thing. This is how we're going to play, and the guys will have a clear understanding of what that looks like.
Do you have elevated expectations of now potentially having to replace some minutes of Trey, maybe even Jose or somebody else down the line, of a Dyson Daniels who's gotten his rookie season under his belt, or maybe Kyra Lewis who showed real improvement last year?
I'm sure that there's definitely expectations on their part, but we want them to just continue to keep the game simple. Go out and be the best that you can be with the minutes that you earn. And so that's how you take the pressure off yourself. It's just go out and win your minutes. And if you continue to do that in practice, you continue to do it in games, there's an opportunity to earn more minutes.
All right, let's stop it right there for Coach Willie. And listen, fam, this is, how we love Coach Willie. We always talked about the doctrine of love that Coach Willie's bringing here. This is year 3 for Coach Willie. So it's elevated expectations for him and this team. And like he alluded to, it's pretty much the same team minus a few people on the court. And, of course, they did bring in Coach Borrego, and they got rid of Coach, Teaspoon, which I don't like that. I thought Coach Teaspoon should have been around, and they added. And I've been researching Borrego, but this other coach I have questions
Willie
about.
Green choice, man.
Okay, and this other coach, Aaron Miles, who I'm kind of still, he's a mystery to me. But anyway, let's talk about expectations for Coach Willie in year 3. DC, you start us off first, then Lexa.
He already started to meet my expectations. I was waiting for Willie Green to kind of take a hands-on approach to his coaching staff. If you remember, a lot of people he kind of had, other than what's our brother's name, Collins, that came from Warriors. A lot of people were already here, man, kind of already in house. He brought a few guys. I don't remember exactly who. I know we got the defense coordinator from Golden State. I forgot who else he brought in as far as his team, but Willie Green kind of goes in, especially in this interview. I remember watching the whole thing earlier, and talked about how he identified a problem with himself, or a situation where he realized last year where he needed help, and we all saw it. If only Dennis Allen and the Saints worked like this. But we all saw that the offense would get stagnant at times, and Willie needed help or some more creativity to, I guess, add another wrinkle or give something to the offense. And they spoke about also having an identity. That's something I heard several times from Willie. Also, BI spoke about it. I don't think David Griffin mentioned it. But James Borregos is the guy that Willie Green spoke highly of and said he's pretty sure that the offense will be more dynamic with him. And he reached out and wanted to go get James Borrego as that's a guy he used to play for, and he knows the X's and O's of what he'll do offensively and feels like it'll fit seamlessly with us. We all complain about us not getting up enough 3-point shots. After timeout plays getting dull. Us not pushing pace all the time, and just the offense overall being stagnant. And they also spoke about when Zion or Bi or both of them get hurt, we just are atrocious offensively. And all of these things pointed to James Borregos. And I thought bringing him in, obviously we did what we did with the medical staff, and adding another guy that he probably picked in Aaron Miles. I think he's an analytics guy from the Warriors, right? So these are all people Willie is familiar with as he was over there with the Warriors before he went to the Suns. So him coming into his next step to me was, putting more of his own people, taking more command of the coaching staff, man, and kind of putting more of his imprint on the team, even though I think a lot of his imprint is pretty much on the team. And obviously we had a letdown last year, but prior to our letdown last year, I thought Willie was on a pretty good trajectory. And last year obviously was very disappointing. I think moving forward with his staff, man, less tentacles, on things. I think we're gonna see something really special this year, especially with the offense. I like what I'm hearing about James Borregos and his ability to create more 3-point shots, and also kind of tying into a similar philosophy that Willie Green likes with the 1.5 pass, shoot, or drive in 1.5.
All right, Lexa, what you think about it? Because I know we talk about several of these acquisitions here. I know Borrego's a guy. I was studying some film on him, and he was actually having a teaching moment, like he was sharing his philosophy in part on movement. It was really intriguing listening to him describe movement and how he wants guys to move on the court for the Pelicans. So, I mean, I know you're very analytical. Let's talk about Willie and these additions to the staff, and how would this help in terms of us getting wins? And I know he believes that Borrego will bring that movement and kind of keep things lively so we don't get stagnated. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we already had a top 10 defense. Now we can get a top 10 offense, if not top 5 in the league. So, I mean, the fact that he was able to choose the staff, I think it was long overdue, because usually when you hire in a new coach, they get to choose their own staff, and he didn't have that opportunity, which I don't understand why. I think the team would have been further ahead than, now, and had, more of an identity, because obviously, like, between CJ and BI and Zion, they've only played 10 games. And that's not a whole lot of, I guess, intel. We've seen a lot of their individual play, but as far as them, like, all together, there's not a whole lot. So even though this is the same team, there's not a lot of changes. I mean, you add Cody Zeller, which probably isn't a big deal, but I will say, as far as with the pick and roll, he does that very well. If you all go back and look at the finals in Miami, he did that, like, very well, and that's something that can be very useful, since some people didn't know how to set screens. Jackson Hayes. But anyway, I just think
So let me stop you right there, man. We stop you right there. Jackson Hayes led the NBA in impatient picks. We got to give that man credit for what he did, and then he got a contract with the Los Angeles Lakers so he can take his show to on the road to LA time, so he can show them impatient picks.
With them picking up Christian Wood, I think he's gonna be seeing a lot of the bench again, just with a different team. That's just my opinion.
This is true.
I don't think it's gonna. Yeah, because they actually blotted him out of the picture once they picked up Christian Wood. He wasn't on there.
You gonna
But
see the palm trees moving in LA. Huh?
Yeah, he right where he belong.
Yeah, I mean, I think Eric, who doesn't want to be in LA? I think everybody got
I
a
don't.
crib in LA. You know, but
DC,
I'm
Lexa,
really glad that
crib out there too. DC got a crib in LA.
Man,
Oh,
I ain't
you
got
do?
no crib in LA, man.
When
Hey,
you
man.
when your reggae record went gold, you had both.
Ah,
I gotta throw that in there.
I said Lithuania,
goodness.
bro. That wasn't LA. It was LI. Lithuania.
That was
Oh, my
that
bad. International. That's right. That's
was
right.
a
Yeah,
good comeback for the
yeah.
Gregory Porter thing.
Yeah, see, that's what it is. See, he did that. He got
Oh,
on the.
I'm not done with Greg Reporter.
Oh, yes, you are. Go ahead, Lex. Baby.
All right.
But I mean, I think, with Willie's situation now, there's no reason why he should not succeed, because he has the guys that he wants in there. And he should have had, like I said, he should have had that right when he first got hired. But who knows what Dr. Octopus was thinking when all that transpired. So yeah, I'm glad he got his team up in there, and I have high expectations, because definitely Willie needed some help in the X's and O's. We know he relates to players. That's great. We know he can motivate, but obviously I'm hoping that he expands his motivation beyond "we gotta fight." You know what I'm saying? Like, we need other catchphrases and stuff. So, but other than that, he has a squad. We definitely are expecting great things from Borrego, because when he was at Charlotte was giving the Pelicans fits with their offense. So it's like, so I'm hoping that translates to this one, most definitely.
Most definitely, most def. But we know what they was thinking, though, Lexa. They was thinking about creating an organic, sustainable future. Remember that? If we would let Willie Green pick his coaching staff, I don't think that'll fit the Tentacles' outlook on the team. As well as keeping Alvin Gentry when they first decided to change everything else, which didn't make no damn sense either.
Yeah. I think just the way the Pelicans have done things, when you look at other teams around the league, it's really different. Like, I some things I just don't understand. Like, why is it and then the consistency in which other teams do things, it's pretty balanced, where the Pelicans, I don't know, they kind of go left field, or I don't know, something. It's just kind of interesting there.
Yeah, you dropped something, DC, when you said that about them. They didn't have a physical therapist? Is
That's crazy.
That to me,
I couldn't believe that, man. I really had when they went look. I couldn't believe that. That was crazy. They spoke to David Griffin. Actually said it out of his own mouth.
That octopus should have kept that one, because that's ridiculous, man, and that explains so much. So Amy's here, man. Much love.
Get this, Q. The reason they got the physical therapist was because they did the end of the season players reviews, and the players kept talking about it.
That's insane to me, bro. It's been years. We've been suffering for years with this stuff.
Even high schools have physical therapists. Like, high schools, like, I know my high school. Did anybody else high school have a physical therapist?
Maybe they didn't have a physical therapist
or a trainer. Maybe, I don't know.
And they just use Oshner. Maybe they use Oshner. Maybe I'm guessing that's what it had to be, because we know a lot of players go to Oshner for their surgeries and different things like that. So maybe they just used Oshner's physical therapist, and they didn't have one in the actual facility.
So they were outsourcing.
Right. That had to be, because it's just insane to think they didn't have access to any physical therapist for the players.
That's
still bad, though.
That's awful, bro.
Well,
and
that kind of goes to show the lack of organization. And see, like with Adam, or like, you can definitely see that she has laid out plans, like it's organization, and that's definitely what the Pels need. So
Yeah, Lex, I think you're right because in the end, man, it's this we that is incredibly crazy to me, and that explains a lot why we've been suffering with these crazy injuries year after year after year because we're not properly structured, and most of these other teams just run in circles around us. It's just it was
yeah,
insane. We don't have
yeah,
the
they
Zion Williamson and all these guys here, and they sit up here hurt and all these weird timelines, and then Griffin sitting on top of the team meticulously and diabolically controlling the flow of information pertaining to some of its top players, getting in and coming up with these weird timelines and lying to us saying we're going to have him back at this time. And then it gets to the point he doesn't come back. And like we talked about last year, that I think his injury was a lot worse than what he was saying it. And based on how he been handling it, I understand with the deception involved and why people don't believe David Griffin and some of the stuff that he spews out of his mouth. But go ahead, Lexi, you was saying something?
just I just think it's just crazy with the ramp up. Like no other team has that. Like the 2 week, what was it called? Yeah, help me out.
Club
Like every 2 weeks.
ramp ups.
Club ramp.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen it from any other organization in the league. I mean, it's just kind of weird. Or really, you don't even see any GMs out talking a whole lot at all, which is different too. So
Well, you mean presidents of vice presidents of basketball operations? I don't hear any of them
yeah.
talking.
Well, yeah,
at all.
I apologize. I made a mistake, but yeah. I think that's confusing to everybody though, just like how I got tripped up because he's not the GM. Trajan is. So, but yeah, you don't typically see that, which again is different. It's not consistent with the rest of the league.
Yeah, that's true. And the therapist thing is not consistent with the rest of the league. We see in the Boston Celtics and all these other teams having this immense success year after year after year. And the Pelicans sitting out here with most of the players sitting up on the bench hurt. And then we get this long spew from the general, the VP with the try to throw the what you call it with back in the day with Philadelphia talking about trust the process. We're not going for that down here. We want to see results.
No.
And when you do what you're supposed to do the right way, then you'll get the results. Why can't we have the results a Boston have in terms of its players being healthy? Even Golden State with all these older players on the squad, all miraculously they're always available when the games that count, so they can make pushes that matter. And then our guys sitting up here.
You know what that is though? Like one thing that I was saying on the outro, like towards the end of the season, last season was winning on every level, understanding how to win on every level in every department from top to bottom. And it's like all the the Warriors had that down, the Celtics had that down, and I know they're bigger markets, but Miami has that down. I mean, it seems like others, Milwaukee, they're a small market team. They kind of have that down. It's like the system is still trying, a little bit shaky, but there's winning habits on every level. And that's one thing that I just kind of feel like lacks, a whole lot more like with the Pelicans than compared to everyone else. Because they have a system in place and it works and it's successful.
Yeah, you're definitely right
Yep.
about that, man. But us getting a new arena seems to be the new thing, and if we could just get that, we will win more games. Apparently.
Oh no!
But
the teams gotta prove it though. I mean, that's just like with Gail Benson with the being over the luxury tax. I mean, the thing is like if you were an owner, you would want what you've already invested in. Okay, show me something. Show me why I should invest more into the team, because as of right now, the team hasn't really shown like you haven't gotten a return on anything. And I think that's kind of like the holdup, and it's true. You want to see something before you like, okay, well, let's invest a little bit more. I mean, from a business standpoint, I can understand that, but
They actually came out and spoke on that. Alexa, David Griffin says he has no idea where this information is coming from. Trajan Langdon actually alluded to it too, that they never once said that they wouldn't pay the luxury tax, and they're not worried about the luxury tax. That's not a thing. They're worrying about being the best possible basketball team that they can be right now. That's the exact words.
But then they went
in
and
the
got
interviews today.
they went and got Cody. You know, you couldn't get somebody else. You know, I think what he's the only one that they added to the team, right?
Um,
And then we lost
official
Jackson.
official signing. We got a two-way player.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Xavier.
besides the two-way players, you did get the
Liam Neeson. I have a particular set of skills.
Robbins.
They're talking about him, Robbins.
Yeah.
He's actually awesome. You know, there's a lot of talk about
You
him.
on
I
what?
thought you were talking about taking or something.
Well, that's what I think when I see his name is Liam
Yeah.
Robbins. But
GC on tonight, brother. You hyperbolic time chambers
I
and
have a particular set of skills.
you know what, man? Somebody had a comedian talk about the Denzel. I love the Equalizers, man. I think those that some of the that's
Oh yeah, they are nice.
I love.
That was the same thing, like the
They in
Liam Neeson
California,
thing, and he
James.
took it to another level, man. I need
Yeah,
to go see part 3. I ain't see it.
Bro, it's off the chain. Number 3 is Fireman, and they had an actor. I mean, it was a comedian that said before the movie came out, it made me laugh. He said, "Man, how many times they gonna keep doing these movies where Denzel Washington killing people with a straight face?" I was like, dude, that's what he does. He clicks his damn watch, give you 9 seconds to make a decision.
Yeah.
Before you tell your stuff. So I mean, hey, at least he give you that much. They got people out here that's crazy. But anyway, James says Kings got a new arena. James said the Kings got a new arena.
James.
Missed the playoffs 10 straight years. Then turn around after that, then miss 7 more. So,
They in California. That don't count. Look, all the California teams, man, they can do that stuff.
indeed. Okay, let's move on, family. Here goes Zion Williamson. Here's the big dog, Zion, followed by Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum. Then we'll put an end on the show and then move on. Here goes Zion Williamson, family. Thank y'all for being here. Zion, anytime you're ready, sir. Anytime you're ready.
Wait, hold up. What was the question?
Can you just help us understand, because it was just a little unclear, read on, hey, look, if everything goes according to plan.
That's not Zion.
There's a light skinned Zion.
Can you just help us understand, because it was just a little unclear, what's just your read on why you were not able to get back in the court last season after the re-aggravation of the hamstring?
Just wasn't ready.
Look, you know, last season you came to camp in really good shape. Looks like you came into camp in really good shape this year. It seems like things went wrong when an injury occurred. Just, you know, moving forward, what things will be different? Just like, hey, look, when something goes bad that you can't control, like reacting to that situation.
What Pelicans have put in a lot of things this offseason to not only prevent stuff like that, but how to react to it in the best way possible. So I think what the Pels have done is good structure, and we'll see as the season goes.
And knowing how the last 2 seasons went, what did you want to do differently this summer to kind of you know, change things for you and make sure you're more prepared this season?
Work on movements. Stayed in New Orleans for a big part of the summer, working with the Pels, being on the same page with them, my personal trainers. But just really locking into every aspect of my body.
And what went into the decision to spend more time in New Orleans this year than you did in previous off seasons?
Want to change. If I want to change, I got to do something different. So, like I said, I sat down with the Pels and we came up with a great plan. I'm great mentally. Thank you for asking. I'm excited about my daughter. She's due in November. I'm really excited about that. But outside of that, I just love hooping. It wasn't hard to stay focused. Things happen. Just how I respond to them.
Can you talk about where you and the organization are after 4 years? Do you think they've understood you, you understand them, and maybe the best is still yet to come? You know, patience is maybe a virtue.
I think the best is still yet to come. Like I said, spent a lot of time in New Orleans this offseason working with the Pelicans. And like I said, my personal trainers. And, you know, we made a lot of changes and going to see when the season starts.
Zion, Willie Green and Griff both said that you were capable of playing all 5 positions, but your best fit may be at 5. Is that your feeling, or you feel comfortable in the offense right now from what you've been dealing with?
Can you repeat the question?
They said that, you know, you're capable of playing all positions, but playing you at the 5 might be your best fit. Is that something that you feel is in this offense the way it's been running?
Who said that?
I don't know, Willie Green or Griff.
Willie
I don't
Green
know.
said my best fit was at the 5.
Well, I mean, where you may be playing, or where they may play at 5, or whatever, however it was said. Is that you feel like it?
Yeah. So I say, Willie Green said my best fit was at the 5.
Yeah. Hey, can I just say something real quick? This interview, like the questions that he got, this all these questions, they just stunk. They were horrible.
Well, they wanted to ask questions about the offseason. It was like no Mariah Mills questions, and they just
DC, I'm about to say
to come up with new questions.
Ryan Mills questions, was that because he looked kind of nervous at first.
I mean, but you
said he was doing November. I was like, you open the door. You open the door.
I mean,
Hey, Alexa.
Zion 6'6", 6'7", him playing at the 5. I mean, that was just a crazy question, but
Nah,
yeah, all
Willie
these questions.
say
The
that,
very
though.
first question was just off. I was like, man, this whole interview gonna be off. I mean, it didn't make no sense. It really didn't, and you could tell because look how they were stuttering. You know, and I think even the body language that Zion's giving, you know, you can tell he's pissed off.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it's like, man, ain't nothing funny.
They
I'm
might have
about to,
asked him
you know
a
what I'm
question.
saying? I mean, it's like, and really that's the point where it's at. I mean, all the criticism and all the stuff, you know, and really since he's been in the league, you know, the fat jokes, the eating jokes, all that stuff. I mean, at some point in time, no, and really it's almost like he's in the role of the villain. You know, because there's so much, you know, negative criticism. It's like, yeah, he has a reason to be pissed off. But, and, you know, Zion, he's a man of few words. But, I mean, just listening to this interview, those few words were even fewer than usual. And he's not smiling.
That's
I
true.
mean, yeah, it's like, you know, you can definitely tell, like, I don't even want to talk about nothing. I want to show y'all on the court. And you know what? I feel that. Because don't nobody want to hear him talk anyway. Let's just be real about that. Nobody wants to hear what Zion has to say. They want to see it. They want to see it for 65, 70, 82 games. And that's it.
Amen to that. Let's finish up with Zion.
Willie Green did say that, though. He said they have some
He never said it was his
ideas.
best position, though, DC.
No,
did
he didn't say that. He said they will play Zion at the 5 in spurts. So they made mention to that. So I guess that reporter just took that and ran with it, man. And
Yeah.
created this situation.
I mean, but they made that stuff up. It's like that question, they didn't form the questions right, but I don't know. That wasn't a bright question.
Now that was terrible, Lexa. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was terrible. The guy was stumbling, and the way Zion was asking his questions, he was like, "What?" And then he kind of whatever. So that just shows Zion is
Yeah,
very.
yeah, he
You
was
know, he
on it. He was on it. He was
very
probably like Willie Green said that. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Zion
Yeah.
got some boxing gloves on right now. That's what y'all don't know.
Yeah.
You know what, Lexi, you're right, because he usually smiling, but last year he was
Yeah, he was
smiling.
smiling a lot. He was
Yeah.
happy to
Man,
play
he's smiling.
basketball, but now it's like, I mean, he's still happy, but he's not happy because it's like, you know, it's like this year, it's got to change. There is no other option. It has to change, and I think he understands that. At least that's what I see. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, there's nothing to talk about, and he clearly wasn't trying to answer their questions in full sentences. He was giving two-word answers.
Yeah, he wasn't playing with the reporter, man. He wasn't really feeling them. I think what's the brother name, DC, that you call you say resembles me. What's his name? What's the brother name?
Gregory Porter.
Gregory Porter.
No, not talk about the
Oh,
reporter, brother.
my
Oh,
bad. I'm
Will,
sorry.
yeah, that wasn't Will Guillory. Will Guillory was
Ah,
No,
before him.
no. Will was right. That's what I was saying. But his line
yeah,
of
but
questions.
Will, he didn't ask a good
Will had good.
question either. I was
It
kind of
was all right.
disappointed
It
in
was
him.
bland.
But it's better. It's the best we got. He listened to
Right.
the
It was
rest.
the best out of all of them so far.
Let's finish up and hear some more trembling reporters. Here we go.
Is in this offense, is there a position you feel most comfortable?
Yes, sir. Feel comfortable in all positions. I'm a basketball player. Simply want to win and impact the game. So my whole life, I trained to impact the game from all areas.
I'm staying in the city. We had some outreach. You met with Kendall Banks, my guy. Got all the motivated T-shirt and stuff like that. Can you talk about what's helped you get in a better mind frame? Staying in the city, you got more positive stuff from the fans. People that were reaching out to you, encouraging you.
This home. Well, it's just home for me. It's a little upsetting that I have to sit up here all the time and have to tell people that this is home for me. This is where I want to be. But being in the city a lot more this summer was it was dope. Running into people in New Orleans, family. It was love always.
And you can't help but notice your first two smiles during this whole thing. You talked about either your family, your daughter, or the family that's had your back. Would you say that brings you the most happiness and helps you stay within yourself, take care of yourself and your family, and finding your smile that way?
Something like that. More so the mindset is I can help a lot of people. I can do things for a lot of people around me. But this past summer was if something happened to me, the mindset was if something was to happen to me where basketball wasn't there or something just happened to where life just changed, who would be there for me? Realistically, who would be there for me? And just had to come to that realization and come to family and the city. Always good. So I focus on that.
Since
That's pretty deep, man.
Yeah, it's real though.
If Team USA wanted me, that's a huge honor. But that'd be something that I would have to think about when that time comes, and if the opportunity is presented to me.
since we've been around you, you mostly try to keep your private life private. You talked about the importance of your family and stuff like that. But how difficult was it this summer with a lot of people prying into stuff going on with you behind the scene that you have kind of kept private before, but more of that stuff being out in the public now?
Uh, when I want to share something about my family, I will, and it's as simple as that. Uh, that's how I am. That's how it's always been. When I want to share something about my family and my personal life, I will share it. If not, I don't.
I'm a father. I have three kids. You're expecting a child, like it changes you. How do you feel like it's going to change you? How to be a better version of yourself?
She's not even here yet, and it's already changed me. Um, like I said, family, and people who I know got my back. Uh, Lock in on that, focus on that, and outside of that, I don't really need much else. I do. I do think there's a lot of greatness within this organization, within this franchise. But I'm not about to sit up here and talk about it too much. We just have to show y'all.
I like that answer.
Thank you. To win. To win with my brothers. Simple as that. I think they all feel the same way. We all got the same goal in mind. We want to win and we want to have fun.
John, having spent a lot of time here at the facility over the summer, did anything stand out to you from watching teammates out there and whatnot runs or anything like that?
Yeah, a few things stood out to me. Before I get to my teammates, I'll start with front office staff. Griff, Trajan, Swin. Those three have been really helpful. They've supported me. They've had my back. And we all got the same goal in mind. And I think that's what family and I think that's what just family is about. People having your back no matter what's going on and everybody wanting the best for each other. What was the second part of your question? Oh, teammates wise, y'all know Jose. Jose is Jose. But who I think y'all should look forward to, and I'm going to put pressure on him, is Trey Murphy. Even though he's currently out, Trey is going to be a problem. Trey is going to be a problem. I'm excited to see for him to return to the court. But yeah, Trey is going to be a problem.
Growing to more of a leadership role, maybe local way, so forth, and then possibly you were frustrated that you felt taking the opportunity by not being taken to play as much. I wanted to get your take on how you look forward or how you see yourself.
Before I can lead, I gotta learn how to follow. I think Bi and CJ have done a great job with leading the team on and off the court. So, I would say those are our two leaders on this team, Bi and CJ. They've been on the court. In tough moments, they're always the ones to say something to get the team going. And like you said, I got to grow into that leadership role. So hopefully over time I'm able to grow into it. Y'all know I always listen to music, and I have an album or two. But for me, it was 3 albums that have really got my mindset going. Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z, of course, Illmatic, Nas, and a more recent album, The Great Escape, by Larry June. I would say those 3 albums really helped get my mindset together, along with family and Pelicans helping me out as well.
We've heard you and your teammates speak a few times about how special December was for you guys, for you individually and for the team. I guess what really stands out to you about that time last year, and what are you hoping to carry over from that time into this season?
It was great. It was a great time, but I mean that was early in the season. We want to be at the top when the season's over. That's our goal. That's what we're going to work towards. So, I mean, season didn't end the way we wanted to last year, but can't dwell on that. Just got to learn from it and get better. Wanted me to give a scouting report on myself. What I worked on was being unguardable.
Hey, look, if everything goes according to plan,
All right, let's Zion Williamson, y'all. Let's work on being unguardable. How about that?
I like
Listen, we go, Lexa. Let's start with you, then DC. y'all jump in on that. I know that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff to go over because we played the entirety of the interview. I thought it was really important to listen to what Zion had to say.
Mhm.
His serious demeanor is one thing. A lot of wisdom in his words. And is this finally the year where we see our hopes? I mean, every year it just seems like that, but is this really the year where we'll see this thing come together? What do you guys think? Go ahead, Alexa.
It has to be. It has to be the year. It's not a thought. It has to be. You know, this is the start of his new contract. Um, you know, it's been 5 seasons. One season, he didn't play at all. Um, Shoot, when you look at all the criticism, that he's endured since he's been in the league, the weight, the eating, all the other stuff. I mean, there is no other option. And I think from what I saw, he understands that. Like literally it's make or break. And that's what makes it kind of different from all the other years. I mean, he's never been this serious. He wasn't, smiling a whole lot, really I don't think the questions, well, some questions were okay, but I think all the questions that were answered collectively, they weren't really good questions. You know, um, I think it's like, just something that's built over time, like an irritation or, just frustration. You know how we always talk about Zion needs to be unleashed. We have not seen Zion unleashed. We've yet to see that. And I think, all this as far as with the injuries and all that stuff, I don't feel like that stuff is going to last. It didn't last with Steph Curry. Look where he is. It didn't last with Embiid. And they dealt with injuries the first 5 years. If you all go back and look at that. But if you look at the criticism that Zion has received and all that stuff, they didn't receive half of what he's going through. And Andrew Lopez, that's one thing that he even talked about is like, that's the difference between, when you're a big time star like Zion, like everything that you do is under a microscope. Everything that you do. And it's like, I think it's finally caught up with him. And then I don't think like all the years that Zion, has been in the league, I don't think he wasn't not taking things seriously. I think just like any other person, anybody in the chat, any of us like on this panel, we grow. You know what I'm saying? We don't have everything all figured out at 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. You're growing each year. It's not that you're not taking it seriously. It's that, hey, like you're just getting your feet wet in life. You're out on your own and you have a learning curve. You have to grow. And I think that's all it is. I don't think it wasn't that he wasn't being serious. He just needed to get to that point where he took a step, and everybody has different levels of it. Nobody's at the same. So I just think like with everything that's happened since he's been in the league, it's kind of caught up, and it's like it's not a thought anymore. It's like it has to. It's like this is it's about to change. Like the whole dynamic of everything is about to change. And then that has to be the mentality because it's literally like make or break.
Yeah, I agree, Lex. I think, yeah, this his seriousness, man, and listen, this is really how we all feel as a collective. We've been putting up with this stuff for a while, man, and then of course, what blew my mind. We talking tonight about the physical therapist not being in there, and then I'm like, this is a professional, supposed to be an NBA professional basketball team without that asset there. And that would explain a lot of the bull job that was happening in the team, dealing with the fitness and the rehabilitation situation and injuries and all this kind of stuff, these weird timelines and this deception, and when players are going to be available, all the lost games and all of the blown time because of simple stuff like this. So, man, and I really, I want to see it happen. Right. It's right. DC, chime in, bro.
First off, man, excellent analysis, Lexa. You're absolutely right. And I was thinking the same thing. I really like the point you brought up about Steph Curry and Joel Embiid. I would say a lot of times, and the main thing I think about is something that AD says on during the games with Joe Myers. He always talks about greatness not being a linear path, and that's real talk. Like Zion path to greatness. When you think about a lot of great players, they aren't always the same. We just talked about Joel Embiid and Stephen Curry. Even somebody like James Harden, who was playing off the bench, like his first 3 years, it wasn't injuries. Zion got the injury bug, and as long as he's going at it and steadily improving and trying to tackle that thing a different way, at some point something has to give. Like you got to be blessed for all that hard work you're putting in.
There you go.
Some would say he doesn't put in hard work. I don't see it as that. They talk about him loving basketball but not loving the work. Like I don't even understand that dumb shit. Like if you play ball, there's certain things you got to do just to be able to play ball to stay in shape. Like playing ball in itself is work. But I like the fact of Zion not smiling. He not sitting up there laughing and joking with him. He had his eyes set on probably one of Mariah Mills' questions, ready to shut that down. But he looks real serious, man. He has like an edge, a chip on his shoulder. You can actually see it. It's not just talk. It doesn't seem the same as all the other years. So by his demeanor, everything they say he's done in the offseason, the way he's answering these questions, the fact that he has a baby girl on the way, I think we're gonna see a more mature, more disciplined, more prepared Zion. And for the rest of the league, man, I think that's scary as hell.
Yeah.
Scary as hell. I saw one of your comments too, Lexa, where you talked about a lot of teams going to the Twin Tower looks, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
they know
are.
they know what's coming. That's the only thing that's been partially successful against Zion, when they throw some tall bodies at him of guys that can really defend.
And
If
that's
we
without
correct,
like shooters too.
right? If we correct what we need to do in having shooters, we just drafted one of the best shooters in the league, signed the best shooter in the G League. You got Trey Murphy, who not gonna be out forever, and you heard Zion talking about he gonna be a problem. But Trey Murphy didn't put on 20 pounds of muscle. Damn right he gonna be a problem. On top of being a lethal sharpshooter, you got
Yeah.
BI, who's gonna take more 3-point shots. You got CJ McCullough, who we all know is a sniper, even though a lot of people give him a hard time. I think
Well, no,
CJ
he's
gonna
healed
surprise
now.
people this year. And you got Zion, man, ready to step up to the plate, saying he's been in the lab working on being unguardable. So he's pretty much already unguardable. So the only thing I could think of when he says something like that, I think maybe he added a few more shots to that repertoire. Because if he can actually get some things going in the mid-range game where he can get some easy buckets without having to muscle his way to the goal all the time, because he's got pretty damn good touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That can cut down on the injuries in itself by him also just not changing his style of play, but just knowing when to take those risks and when he could just get some easy buckets. Like say that for the fourth quarter, or say that when you need to get baskets, you do your thing and muscle it in there. And other times, man, take what the defense giving you, because I got a mid range now. I can shoot it from maybe he ain't gonna go 18 feet, but he might have something from 15 feet in. So
Well,
looking
let's
forward
not
to
act
seeing
like
that,
he
man.
wasn't shooting threes though. I mean, Zion can
Oh
hit
yeah,
the three. You know.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't expect him to do it at a high clip. You might get
Oh
like
yeah,
2 of
most
those a game.
definitely. He just got to be respectable.
Right, keep them honest.
Yep.
That's an intriguing look, though, to be honest with you. A midi Zion working on that midi game with the midi champ and BI being here. Did you imagine him being really good at the midi game and drawing those people away from the basket to come to him so he can go around them. That would turn everything around for him and make the game so much easier. Plus, they'll collapse on him. You always have the ability to find shooters. So that'll be a phenomenal adjustment to his game. So, yeah, he's not very far off from really taking that next step. But this health situation, man, things are looking up, man. So this is very positive.
He already got it, Big Q. I mean, he started with that turnaround jumper he got, man.
Yeah, I know
Zion
that.
didn't take that a lot, but I don't remember him really missing when he took them. You know, it's
Yeah.
there. He just got to get more
Don't take it.
confident with it. It's just
Yeah,
confidence and
his
reps.
efficiency was there with them. He
Right.
didn't take a lot of them, but when he did take them, he made them.
Yeah, that'd be so cool to see him consistently do that, add that to his game, man. And this will really turn things around for us in a major way. I feel it. We ready for the jump, man. We just need to go, and it just seems like Zion, and hopefully the rest of our other players are feeling this way. I know Bi and CJ, these guys are serious. We just need to get everything together, and hopefully this will be the year. Let's jump to Bi, man. It's the next one, and then CJ, and then we'll close out with the final thoughts. Here's our next. It's the Slim Reaper, as they call him, Bi.
First year night. MJ. Maybe. I mean, I feel like that every summer. Just think this year, just having a chance to be in a little more better shape this year coming into the season. I think that's the only difference. But I wanna compete against everybody. I don't know. I guess I'll know when the season starts. But I know it got me some more playing minutes, starting training camp, and hopefully I can be in better shape going into training camp and be in better shape in preseason and starting the regular season.
What have you just learned about like what it takes, or what do you have to do in the offseason? Just like try to withstand 82 as much as you can.
Eat right, sleep right, train right. I think strengthen my body the best that I can so I can have better recovery time. But some it just happens out the blue. You can't prepare for it, but you can do everything you can in strengthening tendons or strengthening joints or whatever you do to get yourself prepared.
Other than just playing in games and stuff like that, how much does your participation in Team USA kind of change what your normal routine would have been during the summer? And how does that impact just where you are now going into the training camp?
Yeah, well, I just ramped up a little bit earlier. Maybe the end of July was a little bit different in my conditioning and getting prepared for USA games and practices. I think that was the only difference. My weight training was still the same. My basketball, the things that I wanted to work on in the summer was still the same, but I just had to get in a little better condition to prepare myself for the games with USA.
Last season, you got a lot of success playing a point guard type role where your facilitation really stood out.
Yeah.
Is that how you envision yourself primarily playing this season? And have you had conversations with the coaching staff and perhaps James Brager was recently hired?
Yeah, James said he's gonna give me the ball a lot, so I'm counting on that. Counting on him to give me the ball a lot. But yeah, I mean, I had a lot of success at that position last year, and hopefully that's taken in the film, and we go back and look at it and say that's something that we can do this season. But also, I have a chance to be off the basketball. We have some other creators out there, and we can have other guys to create some shots for me too. So I think I'll be playing on ball and off the ball too.
Yeah, what was it like going against Trey and Herb? When I played with Team USA Select.
Yeah. you know, Herb just cool. He gonna do what he do. He was good on the defensive end. It was good to see their faces because you know normally in the summer we don't see each other's faces that much. So it was good to see them just being in good spirits and playing free basketball. You know, you get to do some things that you don't do in a normal NBA setting and in those settings. And you know, Trey was jacking every shot, uh, trying to do different crossovers. He don't normally like to dribble, but doing different stuff that he don't normally do in the league. So no, it was fun. It was fun seeing him.
Speaking of Trey, have you connected with him after his injury? Kind of
Yeah,
up his spirit?
yeah. And you know, I called him as soon as I heard the news, and just been talking to him, just keeping him up, keeping him laughing. He's done a great job of just coming into the facility and putting the work in that he can. And he seems to be in good spirits. Of course, I know he wants to be playing, but he's not bringing anybody else's energy down.
All right, Bi, man, very interesting, man, to hear Bi, and of course you heard what he said about Borrego saying he's gonna get the ball a lot. So let's kind of think about this for a second. I think it was what having our stars together. I think they had together 10 games. I think it was last season. No more than 10 games, which is utterly ridiculous for us to have that talented core of players together for no longer than 10 games. That's crazy to me. But Bi is good coming up off that USA stuff. It wasn't all that, but we expected some big things for him coming into the season. Lexa, what are your thoughts on Bi and some of his commentary?
Pelicans BI or FIBA BI?
I want Pelicans. Ain't gonna cut it.
Oh well, I mean, you know. Oh, hold on, just a second. Hold on, my bad.
All right, well, Lex is taking care of that. But this is the reality. DC, you still there, man? You cooking some well, go ahead,
here.
Lex. Okay,
Oh,
Lex.
okay, yeah. I mean, not much. I didn't hear that last question. Well, who was he talking about in that last question?
I think wasn't that he mentioned he was talking about Trey Murphy, keeping Trey
Oh,
Murphy
okay.
positive, after his injury, and they feeling real good about Trey.
I mean, I don't really feel a certain kind of way of everything he said. He really didn't say a whole lot that I could take. I mean, obviously he'll come into the season, in shape, getting off to hopefully a faster start. Um, obviously in game shape. And I know for Bi that's a pretty big deal. So I think really that's what I can take from this interview. I don't know how to feel about the Borrego statement that he's just gonna put it in his hands, and I don't know what to think about that. I don't know if he was playing or if he was serious or a little bit of both. But I just really I hope that because we don't want it in his hands. I mean, we want the offense to move. You know what I'm saying? To really click. So um I don't know how to take that either. So, but I think definitely he'll come into the season getting off to a faster start.
Yeah, and like you were saying, Borrego came in to kind of bring some, I guess, structure might be the word. I don't know, not to say it was destructure, but at the time we've seen a lot of inactivity or just randomness, street ball game to the Pelicans offense at, sometimes during the game. It was kind of disorganized, or you see guys like a CJ McCollum come down before they even get a formation or get a play ran. CJ jacks the ball up cold as a cucumber. So hopefully a lot of this,
Portland CJ.
yeah, that a lot of this needs to stop. But DC, go ahead, bro. What you think about the old Bi, man, coming into this thing?
I like what I'm hearing, man. And when I hear the thing about James Borrego with the ball in his hands, I really envision them doing more or what we've seen towards the end of the year, where BI is more of a kind of like a point guard. Like we keep trying to push the point Zion, which I like too, but I just point Zion to me isn't sustainable all game. I think you kind of pick your spots with that if you're gonna do it. But BI is probably in our starting lineup the best natural facilitator that we have. CJ is not as bad as people think, but I think BI is more equipped to kind of be more of a point guard than CJ. Zion definitely has that ability too, even though I think he still needs to maybe add some more moves to his game and different aspects of it. But Bi can do that right now. So if he's the one initiating the offense, that's kind of what I take. I would be good with that, with him scoring less points but having more assists. I think that would be amazing. And then you kind of go to him for some of those clutch shots when you need him to, and don't worry about having him off ball as much. But obviously he can do that too. But as we've seen in FIFA ball, BI off ball,
Did you say
that's
FIFA?
definitely not his best attribute. Uh, yeah, well, Team USA ball, what you want to call it?
Oh, you
The
said
Olympics.
FIFA. I
Yeah,
thought,
say
you
what you
know.
thought I said FIBA. But
I get you.
but I mean I like that, man. Curious to see how it looks with James Borrego. Bi to me um isn't the problem where we had the issues with the offense. I think a lot of times we just see him try to carry the team when nothing was going on. And CJ kind of took that same mindset when he was hurt. But if they can actually have an offensive identity, like they talked about, and BI's the facilitator and kind of the one setting the table for everybody, man, and that's what they're deciding on right now, and we're not trying to figure that out as the season goes, then I think that's a great thing. And also, just like Marley saying, I don't want CJ playing point. If CJ can go more back to his natural role that he had with the Blazers, where he's a little more off ball, you kind of give
Mhm.
him some possessions to go ahead and dance and do his thing, but he's not having to have a ball all the time and kind of set the table for everybody else. He can do that, but I just don't think that's the best way to utilize CJ, because CJ is a guy who probably in the span of 5-6 minutes could go on an 18-point run right quick. Let him do that when he hot and he got it going. You feed him, you let him go crazy with his shots. When he don't, you facilitate it to somebody else. So um I think BI is our best option to have what we consider a point guard, even though I don't think we would be traditional in that manner.
Yeah, man, a lot of people. Yeah, I'm with you on the CJ McCollum point guard thing. I really don't want to see that, but but we'll see how it all works out. Borrego and all this stuff going, and it's vastly approaching. Speaking about CJ McCollum, here's McCollum. His thoughts on what's going to happen this year. Here's CJ McCollum fan.
No, I think this was the first. Well, this is the first time I didn't make the playoffs, right? So it was a long off season, the longest I've been a part of. I had a surgery. It's my first time getting surgery in the off season, so I had to get a surgery shortly after the season ended. So it was more for me physically taking a break, mentally kind of getting that escape that I needed before I strategically figure out how I wanted to attack my off season and how I wanted to get better. But it started with just rehab, to be honest with you. I got surgery and then I started rehabbing my shoulder. And that was, 10 weeks. And I started playing basketball and kind of reintroducing basketball. But I always do like a breakdown where we go through the calendar and we kind of figure out, my phases of the summer when I start playing, when I start doing contact, when I implement conditioning, core stability, balance, all the stuff that allows me to be successful on the court and maintain a certain level of play as the season kind of progresses. But I think I'm always very strategic, very calculated with my summer, with my days, how I spend my time, what time I wake up, when I start 2 a days, when I start 3 a days. and all that stuff. So I would say it was a very productive summer for me. I didn't have to move or anything like that, so that was nice. I was here all summer. I traveled out of New Orleans, and I was in the facility. Get access staff. I was in there probably every 6 days a week most of the summer. I'm a professional, man. I figure it out. Transition into a new city, full time is different. I don't know if you guys have had to do it in your careers, but it's different. You have to go through things. You go through growing pains. Being a first time father is different. It's a unique experience, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. But it was difficult, trying to figure out how to do it, how to balance basketball and the same things that everybody battles with as parents is what you go through as an athlete. Trying to figure out your schedule and how to be a present father. But I think that stuff is behind me. I still figured out a way to get through a season with injuries and stuff like that. The CBA is just a job. That's a job that you do, you sign up for, and you execute on behalf of the players in the union. And we have a great support staff and a group of people that allowed me to focus on my day job, which I like to think I do very well. But I think this will be a good year for me individually. This will be a good year for us. As a team, we understand what's at stake. We understand what we left behind, last season. I think everybody is pretty hungry, in their own ways, motivated in their own ways. And I think this was the longest summer I've ever had in my life where I could, really work on stuff and really rest and really kind of grow physically and mentally after a long, year of just playing through stuff. Mm. Yeah. I've had lunch with JB. We've watched film. We talk constantly. Great basketball mind. We've talked a lot about the offense, fluidity, pace, movement, ball movement, things that we're going to want to implement, how we're going to implement them, and I think we're in a really good space, in a good spot. Um, this October as compared to last October, I think we all understand what we want to do offensively. We all understand what needs to be done, and I'm really just looking forward to playing. I think it'll be a really good brand of basketball, and I think people will really grow fond of the way we're going to play. I've seen a lot of growth in terms of his mentality, his approach. Um, Obviously, he had a long year. It was a long
Well,
year
it'd
for
be
him.
real nice to hear the question.
I think he has a different perspective on basketball. I think he has a different perspective on life, and I think so far I've liked his approach.
I think he talked
Obviously,
about
we went
Zion,
to
DC.
campus.
Yeah, I
Gotta
think he
be.
is too.
Start playing games again, which is a whole different beast. But I think he's maturing. I think he's maturing and growing in a lot of different ways. Yeah, no, I have nothing but love and respect for everybody that's on our medical staff and that was here and that is no longer here. I think for us as players, it's about really controlling what you can control and trying to do the right things consistently with your body and for your body. And I think our staff has done a great job of listening to us. We're all different. We all need to be treated differently. We all have different ailments, injuries, different bodies, biomechanics, and things of that nature. So the treatment plan should be suited for that, and I think we're heading in a really good direction. We brought in some really good people who know what they're doing, who have consistently performed at a high level, and I think it should help us. And I think a lot of that is also on us, how we prepare, and your staff can only do so much. It's like the coach. The coach can only do so much. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to take care of what you can control, and I think we're heading in the direction of becoming the right type of professional, right? Like we all in our own professions, who does things the right way and who could do things better, right? In the journalism world, right? So I think we're heading in a direction where there's more like-minded um, people who are heading in, the same direction of doing whatever it takes to take care of your body and whatever it takes to be able to perform. And I think our staff is meeting us there. and meeting people halfway as to what they like to do, from not just a recovery standpoint, but also from a treatment standpoint.
Yeah, because we got Amy Atmore, who's a physical therapist who puts together rehabilitation schedules. I am very happy to have her here. Matter of fact, can y'all guys hear this?
Shout out to Amy, an actual physical therapist in house.
Physical therapist. How about that? But I love that. That made the show for me. Lexa, what do you think about CJ's commentary?
You know what? I want to say this, and I've always felt like this, but I really do feel like, he low key be throwing shade to Zion, man. Every time, somebody put who know what they're doing and things, as far as, just taking proper care of your body and different things like that. It almost kind of has the same energy as JJ Redick. But yeah, I think definitely when he said the stakes are high. They are. And I think you definitely see that across the whole team. It's like it's a do or die, make or break, like on every level. Willie Green, he has his staff. Obviously, you look at Brandon, he's coming up for an extension. He's trying to make one of those all NBA teams with Zion, coming off of injuries and things like that. He needs to have a coming out party. You know what I'm saying? But I just look at all those things, and then having CJ, Brandon, and Zion play together way more than 10 games. Obviously, we know it'll be more than 10 games. But just looking at all those things, the stakes are high. Like, I really do believe that after this season, whatever happens, if things don't go as planned, if they don't start looking up, there's going to be like drastic changes. And so by him saying the stakes are high, it makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, it's like there's definitely pressure. There's pressure there. And not only that, the performance staff too. And even Griff, even though I think he signed his contract, but I just feel like there's pressure all the way around the board. And then Trey, I forgot about him. He's due for an extension too. So, what he does, is going to be a huge difference. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that these guys got to put this season together and perform at a high level and win, because it's like the waiting is over. The setbacks, nobody's trying to hear that. If somebody's pinky gets sprained, nobody's trying to hear that. The fans and media and fans around the world, basketball fans, ready to see like, okay, when are y'all gonna get past this injury bug and really put it together and play some ball? So the stakes are definitely high, and I definitely agree with him there.
Go ahead, DC. What do you think about CJ's commentary on that? And I agree, stakes are definitely high. And you're right, Lexa. If this doesn't work out, yeah, this definitely is the last effort right here. I really do think for this current rendition of the team. So I think everybody feels that too, and I think the fact that the health thing came on the back end of this, and you can only kind of use your imagination to see if this was addressed, the health situation 3 years ago. I mean, with all of the stuff he was dealing with, we finally got a physical therapist on the team. That's just crazy to me, man. But DC, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, next time you can ask me to give my thoughts after you give your your little soliloquy. But anyway, Stephon, man, he brings a lot of very interesting points, and I'm looking at his energy, and it's kind of, other than Bi kind of seemed like the guy that was loose, but as far as our big three, man, they seem so serious. They always say they're hungry and we can't wait till the season gets started, but I always see like like this glistening in their eyes and this excitement. I don't see that right now, dog. I see a guy. Obviously, CJ did touch on a lot of things, man. But just looking at his disposition and looking at how he looking at everything, how Zion was, man. They seem like they're ready right now. I don't think we're gonna see a repeat of last year because everything about this year has been different. We got a physical therapist in the house. You can cue the clapping music if you want to.
That's sad. We gonna be saying that all season. We finally
I'm,
got a
I'm,
physical therapist.
I'm just saying we got a physical therapist in the house, and she's pretty much maybe over a lot of the injury decision making. Right, we're going a different direction with that. All the whole team, other than Jonas Valanciunas and obviously Bi Dyson Daniels, only because they were playing in the Olympic Games and the FIFA ball, right? FIBA. But only because they were playing overseas. The whole team stayed in the city of New Orleans and worked out. When is the last
Yeah.
time have you heard of a Pelicans team that we actually were fully invested in, stayed and worked all off season here? You know, I'm sure when we had Dante Cunningham and Solomon Hill, maybe they did, but we knew they wasn't going nowhere. We we have a lot of hope in that. But
Yeah, you
a
said them
team
man
with
about that football.
right, a team with this level of talent, man, they 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 focused on working out all year together, actually building that chemistry. CJ actually focused on being extremely healthy going into the season, as him and Willie Green touched on the fact that he normally plays himself into shape, but he's getting older. He's 32 now. You got to get in shape and stay in shape. And looking at him right now, man, CJ ain't never no dude that look way out of shape, but he look a little cut up. He look a little slimmer, looks a little focused, or a lot focused. Temperament of the team kind of looks like that to me. And I think the fact that everybody's in shape, including Bi, he's in game shape right now. He said too. Zion is probably, well, I mean, Zion, the only guy I know. We keep saying he in the best shape of his life every year. We've been saying that for like the last 4 years. But
He didn't
anyway,
say that in this interview.
no, I'm saying we say that. No,
Ah,
Zion look
okay,
good. He
gotcha.
in the best shape he ever been. He looked like Zion
I
at
mean,
Duke
but do
again.
we expect him to be out of shape coming into the season? I think that's the what we got to change is the perception of coming into the season. Like maybe we shouldn't expect that, but I don't know. That would be me. I wouldn't expect a professional player to come into the season out of shape.
Right. But I mean, I'm sure they're in shape, but like in basketball shape, it's
Yeah,
a different. We
yeah,
see a lot
that's
of
true. That is a
a
huge
lot of
difference.
guys, they get up to speed. It usually takes about 10 games, just like the
Yeah,
NFL. The first 2-3 games, sloppy tackling and all that, and about week 4 or 5,
yeah.
things start rounding up. But yeah, man, they look hungry. They have a different disposition. They've done everything different. So by all of those metrics, we don't have a choice but to get different results. So I see the Pelicans having a healthy season. We actually had some injuries right now we're dealing with Jose Alvarado, Trey Murphy, Larry Nance. Jose, thinking Larry Nance are expected to be back before
Yeah,
game one.
yeah. Trajan said that they would be ready by game 1,
Right.
and
And
Trajan said that.
I'm also hearing rave reviews about Dyson Daniels. They're saying he changed his whole shooting form. Changed his whole shooting form. All he's been doing is in the gym working with Fred Vincent. He done Alonzo Ball on us and changed his whole shooting form. And
Well,
they
we're
say
definitely gonna need that
he's been
shooting.
outstanding. Dyson Daniels, as well as Kyra Lewis. They say Kyra has been extremely impressive as well. So I think Pell's got a lot of talent, man. And as usual, if we can just get over this injury bug, I think we'll be a force to be reckoned with. even though the West, ain't no cakewalk with you got Phoenix over there, you got Dallas, that I'm sure is going to be a lot better. Right, you got the Clippers, who at some point they have to get blessed by the injury gods. There's a lot of teams there, man, but I still think no matter what everybody else has, we still can contend with all of those teams if we have our own identity, our own focus, and we can stay healthy.
Amen, amen, and amen to that. Let me give it another clap here, fam. Another clap. Shout out to DC, man. Internet working well all the way from the island, man. Shout out Lexus dropped a great game on this. And this we just
I got rid of the Horizon and I went and got Verizon.
Well, that's right.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, that's
man.
Yeah, that's he coming up. That's what I'm saying. DC.
Yeah, I ain't gotta pay for my internet by the minute no more. I can actually get a monthly plan.
That makes a hell of a difference, man. That's all.
Am I clear? Am I real?
Came out of the dinosaur ages, man.
Well, when you be, sometimes I'll be recording this podcast. I got a little podcast set up inside of a waterfall, so the internet service be kind of spotty sometimes.
Podcast set up inside of a waterfall.
You mean a dungeon?
That's all.
Well, I mean,
cave. That's what he's talking about.
You call it a cave. You call it a cave. You got to walk through waterfalls. Kind of like like a Batman setup, man. You can't quite see it.
No, brother.
It don't look like it's there.
You talking about you in the cave right now, brother? That's pretty much what you saying.
Oh, not right now. I got a new setup now.
Oh, okay.
I used to. Yeah,
we're happy for you, DC, man. That's what's up. Is that why it took so long? You were still setting it up?
Took so long for what?
On tonight, buddy.
No.
You kind of be procrastinating on setting it up and things.
I was working out a few kinks. I'm also the IT man, so.
Oh my God!
Oh wow!
Yeah, I gotta run the wire and everything.
Look,
Are you serious?
I'm gonna need to see those credentials, Mr. DC.
I got my vote meter in the car. I go get my vote meter for you.
The IT man that has Horizon, ain't that a blip?
Oh no, I used to have Horizon. I got Verizon now.
Oh my goodness, DC just told everybody that he has his internet set up in a cave with a waterfall. So I mean,
I used to.
Oh, goodness.
That was last season. The playoffs inspired me to change some things too.
That's not what I heard, bro. That's not what I heard.
Oh, well, I was telling you how the old setup was. I was a little embarrassed. I didn't want to admit that last year.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, Big Q, show a picture of Jimmy Butler.
Oh my God. Lord help us. What's going on here?
That's DC with his internet.
Oh my goodness. I seen that. I said, what the hell?
Emo Jimmy. That's what he called it.
What is going on here?
That was some crazy
with his bangs.
Look at
oh
that.
my goodness. What's going on here, family?
And his earrings.
Oh,
I wonder, you think them earrings real? That boy really got pierced for that?
You know what? They gonna be showing the
crazy
picture
enough.
all
He'll
season.
do it for real.
Is Jimmy
for real? He crazy enough.
Did he shake
You
his
right
head?
about that, DB. Jimmy
When-
Andre 3000.
That boy painted his fingernails and everything, man.
Yeah.
He swayed his hair. I mean, because you know you got
out of that chicken.
going on, but he kind of throwing it around, man. What's going on?
Yeah, natural.
Yeah, he looked like them animes. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody said Andre 3000. No, I don't think it's not Andre 3000. No, it's different flavor. That's not Andre 3000. Lexa, what you think about this? What's going on?
3 Stacks ain't had the part.
Oh shoot!
He wasn't throwing it around like that. Jimmy kind of throwing it back a little bit. Y'all seen that? Watch. Jimmy came out.
He look. Hey,
You
you know what? Every woman understands that when you get your hair done and you just kind of fling about doing that Beyonce thing, that's what that was
Oh
right
wow.
there.
Oh wow.
Be
Thank you,
like, be
Lexa, for
like,
explaining that because we didn't know what the hell it was. We
oh
knew it was
yeah,
something.
that's hey.
We knew it was
When a
something.
woman gets her hair done, shoot, that's look, you know what I'm saying? You look, and that wind hit it right.
Goodness
Yeah, Jimmy
Lord.
Karen is good. Karen and Sharon in DC.
Yeah, Karen is sharing, boy.
Wow.
Jimmy sharing all his feelings with us.
I don't know what's going on with that. I didn't
Money
what
Mike.
Steve Smith.
Money Mike.
I don't know what's going on there. He was talking his mess. I was like, man, listen, is because we see some of the pimps they used to have they hair fried, dyed, and laid to the side, so to speak, or have it blown out. Some of the old pimps hairstyles, but this ain't none of that.
Yeah, he
I
went
don't know what's going on.
Marlon say
victim
that's why
mode.
Dame Lillard didn't want to go to Miami.
Well, that's what it's because of. He said it's an emotional outburst, because they
That's what
didn't
he
get
said.
Dame.
Huh?
That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's what Jimmy said. That's for.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's how his emotions feel right now.
Oh wow.
Okay. Okay, his emotions is like I guess, man, is whatever, man. If that's how he feels, man. And Jimmy, go ahead and do your thing, man.
He's somewhere at a rave tonight.
Yeah, he in Miami, man, and it's a very interesting look that Jimmy's sporting, and it might just be something that kind of changes. He might have a different style because like they got these pictures right here, and Jimmy has,
Well,
he
he had done this like 3 years in a row, I think. Now, man, he
Yeah,
chose for
dreads.
media day, and then he wears his regular hairstyle after that.
Yeah. But the thing is that, the picture that they take at the beginning of the season, that's the picture that they use for the whole season. So what we're going to be seeing every time, like they on TNT or ESPN, we're going to be seeing that picture.
This picture right here, Lexi, gonna be said. Let me look up the Jimmy because let me look that up because you're right. They do that. It's like the NBA profile picture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's going
Wow.
to be everywhere.
Well, that
And
was
they actually changed it to the year, but when he had the dreads, they changed it back to how he had his hair the year before, and he got
Yeah.
on that. Be like, nah, you can't do that. That's not the picture I took this year.
I
Because
think they
always
changed
do
his
that.
hair on 2K too.
DC.
I'm just saying it did.
Jimmy's touched. That dude is touched.
Yeah, this is very interesting.
And then he was talking all, big time too. Like,
I didn't
getting
even
back to the
know he was.
finals, and we're gonna win it this time.
He was almost like Slick Side guaranteeing that.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
He did everything he could, man.
Do you all think the East got stronger? I know the West has, but do you think the East got stronger? I mean, with the trades with the Celtics getting Drew and Dame going to the Bucks.
Yep.
I think they're
Oh, yeah.
stronger, but it's really just two teams that got stronger, and the other teams are what they were. Chicago would be an interesting team if Lonzo Ball comes back. I don't know how that'll look. They were pretty good when Lonzo was playing. Toronto is in disarray. Outside of you got Philly.
What about the 70? Yeah, I was gonna ask because they did make some changes.
Yeah, Philly. I think Kelly Oubre is a good ad for them.
Oubre. And he threw shade. He threw shade at Charlotte too.
But I don't know, man. I think they got better, but it's more like a condensed package. It's like the 4 teams that were already pretty good got better. If that makes any sense.
Man, Miami lost a lot of pieces though. They lost 2 of their shooters.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Like so, the 3 teams. So Miami got worse.
Milwaukee, they got Dame Lillard with Giannis, and they still got with Middleton still there. They still the Lopez boys there. They added DC, one of DC's new favorite players. Campaign is over there with them. So I mean,
that was actually a good pickup.
Wait, who?
campaign.
Oh,
you
Rat
right.
Boy.
The Spurs
Ratatouille.
waived him.
Ratatouille.
That's wrong. DC, don't do that. That's wrong. In Boston with Drew Holiday, that was really impressive because they sent him to Portland, and Portland sent them to Boston. That was really interesting too.
You know
Philly,
what? But they
the
gave
hard
up, they gave
Philly,
up Robert Williams, man. That's crazy. I don't know how I feel about them losing him.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's gonna hurt them a little bit.
Because
they
But
have
I mean,
no.
they were able to
because
do it without him, though. Like,
Porzingis is not a defensive guy.
No, he's not. But they still have Holford there. They still got Al Holford there.
But
So
how old is he?
1,000 years old. But you know,
I mean, it's like Robert
yeah,
Brook
Williams.
Lopez is pretty old, and he's
You know what
still
I'm
able
saying? He was
to
drafted
make
by
impact.
that team, and he's young. You know, at Horford, man, he's on. I mean,
James said
obviously,
he
I don't
played
want to
20
put it on
games.
age because if you can play, you can play. But
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just think that you kind of rescind as far as your defensive front court.
Right. Yeah, that's going to cost them, man, for them to get Drew Holiday. They gave up. Drew's a good defender, but losing Robert Williams, a hustler like him, man, that's going to be interesting to see how. But Milwaukee and Boston, I think that's the top. Harden is trying to get out of Philadelphia, so I don't know what's going on with that.
That
And
dude
he didn't
is
even show up at the media day. Harden
Yeah, he
is.
was out.
I don't know what the hell he wanted at this
Yeah,
point, man.
he's about to get booted out the league, and they're not gonna show any type of remorse for him. That's what it's looking
I
like.
don't think they can boot him out the league.
He wants to go back to Houston.
Sad enough to get booted out the league.
I mean, they did it to AI. They did it to a lot of players.
I don't know why his thing is Morey was his guy, and it's soured between him and Morey, and now he wants to go back to Houston. Is that true?
I think they wanted to redo his contract, and I don't think he they didn't redo it to the money he wanted. What was it? It was something like that. Huh?
They did give him a new contract. He's under a new contract, but he signed that contract with the understanding that they were going to trade him, and that's why he comes out and says that Morey lied. That's where the lying stuff comes in. So he is under contract with them, but he's regardless of if he lied or not. It's like, dude, you put your name on the dotted line, and
why does he want to get traded every season? Like, what the hell is wrong with him?
I think I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because he's really been declining as far as his production. And then in the playoffs, I know a lot of people talk him up in the playoffs. He doesn't do well in the playoffs to me. Not really. Not since his Houston days.
Yes, indeed. That's crazy.
Oh, okay, James.
Okay.
That's interesting, man, because I also remember there was talk about him and the Clippers and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and
I remember that. Yeah.
So yeah, but you talk about the East, the Bucks and Celtics on top of that thing. Cleveland is
Cleveland is interesting.
They picked up Max Strus, and he really did his thing in the finals. So
Cleveland is very interesting. Darius Garland is a phenomenal player, man. Only if the Pels would have drafted him instead of Nikhil Alexander Walker.
Oh my goodness, NAW.
Jackson Hayes. Oh man.
Oh dude, both of those guys gone.
Man, I just knew. You remember that Q? Remember I called you? Man, we gonna get Darius Garland, bro. That dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah, 3 first-round picks.
Hey, we traded out of the goddamn pick, bro.
We had 3 first-rounders that year, man. We got Jackson with the 8 pick.
You know the kicker would really piss me off. We traded out of the pick, and then a year later we get Stan Van Gundy, and guess where they put Lonzo Ball? Because we traded out the pick because we got a point guard, Lonzo Ball. Then they had Lonzo Ball playing goddamn shooting guard. So we could have had Darius Garland, Drew Holiday, and Lonzo Ball. Come on, man.
Yeah, it makes total sense, DC. What's wrong with you, man? It makes all the sense in the world, man. Something wrong with you. Okay, let's do this, fam, before we leave, Lex. Let's talk about this in DC, about the Western Conference, the place the Pelicans in. We heard some of our influential players, Zion, B.I., and CJ. And, of course, we heard from our administrators, Coach Willie, the Octopus, and also we heard from Trajan. So let's talk about the place, the Pelicans, where you guys kind of foresee the Pelicans fitting here. Of course, this is the standings from a year ago. 42-40, the Pelicans there. What do you guys, with that new mindset and everything that's dealing? We know Denver's the champs. Memphis is there. Even though they don't have Ja Morant for 25 games, they got Derrick Rose. They brought in Marcus Smart, and that still kind of helps with their identity. The Sacramento Kings, are they really that good? Phoenix, we expect them to make a jump. The Clippers, you never know. Golden State's always there. So, where and one of these bottom teams are going to make a move. Houston got a lot of resources. I don't anticipate them winning 22 games. I think they're going to do better.
Better coach.
Minnesota, something got into Rudy Gobert, got him working on his game. He's working on sky hooks, all this kind of stuff. He really got like NBA. His IQ went up to another level. He started developing all this stuff. So, and then of course,
hold up.
hold on. Let me set the table,
No,
brother.
man, you can't just say that. Like, how did I miss all this shit? When did this happen?
I'm saying you gotta go and look it up, bro. Rudy Gobert, man.
Are we talking about practice or like the real game?
That's all they doing during the practice, bro. Is working on their game. And
it's a practice. Oh, so he doing a Ben Simmons right now. All right, I got you.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just letting you
Oh,
know.
Ben Simmons said he's back.
What?
I mean,
What's going on? Oh,
way back, bro. So that's two. That's Alexis start with everybody else. Where the Pelicans fit in this whole narrative in the New Western Conference this upcoming year? Where do you see the Pelicans fit?
I mean, if everything goes as planned as far as with their focus and demeanor and just that edge, I ain't trying to hear nothing about no play-in. I know that. Ain't trying to hear that. It's got to be top 6, but I think they can be top 4 because they were there on last season. Now it wasn't for a long period, but they were up there, and if now that they already have a top defense, you add Borrego, and he was when he was his offense was top 10 as well. So top 10 defense, top 10 offense, that should have you in top 4.
Most definitely. I'm gonna step out on a limb and go top 3 because looking at all the teams, Denver is the only one that is like, okay, barring injury, I think it's gonna be more of the same with them. So maybe they hold down that number 1 slot. You got a team like Phoenix. They got a lot going on, man. I think when get the playoff basketball, you're gonna see some of the chinks in the armor with Phoenix, but during the regular season, man, I think they're gonna run through that. Sacramento is obviously a team that showed up, and I think they won't just regress this year. I think they showed enough to show that they actually got something going on over there. They obviously have holes, but still think they're gonna be doing a lot. Memphis, man, I don't know if Memphis is gonna be up there. So I'm looking at potentially us, Denver, Phoenix, being at top of things, and you got your other team, Minnesota, man. The Warriors got to show me. I obviously think they're gonna make the playoffs, but I don't think they're gonna be around the top 4. Be a little bit more the same like they did the previous year. Chris Paul and Steph Curry. Like I don't know how the hell that works.
It seemed like they got smaller.
They did.
Looking at the Suns
and older.
The Suns, their front court is not strong.
It's not.
Like I don't think they should have traded Ayton, but I think according to Ayton, I think it was great for him because Portland is going to make him a go-to, which by him being a previous number 1 pick, they kind of should have Phoenix kind of should have made him more of a focal point, not just Booker. But because his game, coming in was really nice. So now he gets an opportunity to kind of have his own team. And Portland's already came out and said that they were going to make him a focal point.
Right. He didn't want to be in Phoenix. So, you don't want to be there. If you're a
sad.
smart organization, you get what you can get for a guy.
Yeah, he just wanted that money. He wanted the bag.
Right. He wanted that contract with them, and then he wanted out. So you got the Clippers. I think they still gonna be in the thick of things, and obviously Mr. Skyhook himself. You talking about Rudy Gobert in Minnesota, right? You? And you still got
Yeah.
the Lakers. The Lakers
Yeah, I was gonna
definitely gonna
mention
be in
them.
that
Say,
top
bro,
six.
the man ain't not missed the skyhook, brother. The
Well, you
man
said
just
the
said
man was executing sky hooks. He working on his game. He
I
doing all
said,
this.
I said,
Gobert just working on his game because Wemby's in the league now. So,
there
you
you
know,
What that mean?
he can't let Wemby show him up.
shine. I'm right. He
Oh
already.
my god!
Yeah. Cause they good friends, you know, they're pretty tight. So, and he
Yeah.
trains them. He
Hey,
trained Wembenyama.
He is what he gonna be.
stop hating.
That I'm just saying the ship done sailed on Rudy Gobert. That was the dumbest shit in the world when they made that trade for him. I was like, boy, that was just stupid.
Hey, DC, I tell you one thing: Minnesota Timberwolves beating the Pelicans. They beat them last year.
They did.
So it's OKC. We got to get over the hump, man. Some of
But
these
they ain't beat us with Zion and Bi, and I'm gonna forever hold to that.
we got that's facts. But we had them guys
Full-
together for 10 games. We
I
got
said
to.
full strength, bro. I said a 75% strength.
You talking about the little brother thing, man? There you go with the
No,
Minnesota.
I said Minnesota.
I'm hoping we can create distance
I
between
said Memphis, not
OKC and
Minnesota.
Minnesota. To be honest,
Exactly. Can we start off the year where we have like a 10, like we just go on like a winning streak and have like 7, 8, 9, 10 games between our wins and losses, have that little stretch. That's really cool. It's really upsetting to me to be, we'll win 3 or 4, 2 games here, 3 games will be 3 games, then they'll fall 2 games. It's just weird, man. Like the Houston series, when we lost to the Houston Rockets, those games we shouldn't have lost to the Rockets, and they can say injuries all we want, but we got to beat these bull crap teams that we supposed to beat OKC. We supposed to beat Houston. Even if we shorthanded, we don't have one of the 2 bigs. One of our 2 big guys. We should still be able to beat a team. Houston. Maybe not
Well,
this year.
that all relies on the system. If you look at OKC, like they don't really have better talent than the Pels, but their system is solid. You know, the coaching,
Yeah, they
like
got a good
they
coach.
know the strengths and weaknesses of their players. They know how to make those guys mesh. And then it seems like, I think the IQ is pretty much solid, but that the system matters. And we really didn't have that in place at all. We really didn't. Same thing with Minnesota. They seem like they have a strong identity. They know what they're trying to do. And hopefully with, the Pelicans being together, being around each other, like, because the team hasn't changed. Only person, I mean, we've subtracted some players, but we've only added 1 player. So it's like they should be familiar with each other where it's like, hey, let's start off 10-game winning streak,
We
at least.
subtracted a palm tree, Lexington. We just got rid of a palm tree. We didn't get rid of no.
No, come on now. What's his name? What does that do? Garrett Temple. Didn't we get rid of him?
That was the suit guy, man. He tailored everybody's suits. That's
He
all.
walked.
We ain't gonna have no suits this year. We be all right.
He was Garrett Temple. Yeah, he went to Toronto. I want to say they gave him a contract. I was
He
really
got another contract.
yeah. He went to Toronto.
You know what? Look, you can't even hate on that man. He's still getting paid. There's look, and this is why John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins and Dwight Howard can't get a contract. That man still has a contract. He's doing something right.
He's a hell of a tailor with them suits.
Something right, man. You
Did
can't
you
be
see his
mad at that.
ensemble with them suits? Oh man, he really put it together. It gotta be that because it ain't the play on the court. Obviously,
No, it sure isn't. That's what I'm saying. Like he got a contract ahead of
Yeah,
John
and a
Wall
guy like this can't
and
get on the team.
DeMarcus and
DeMarcus
Dwight.
Cousins.
You know what I'm saying? And big men don't go out of style. So that's
They
pretty
just
impressive
punishing
that he's able to get a contract.
They
Kudos to
just
him.
punishing Cousins for what he did when he actually was that guy. His arrogance and man, I guess you never fully pay for your sins, huh? The NBA ain't that forgiving.
Hey man,
Go to China, man.
Don't say that. Mark Jackson still got a. Didn't he? Is he still on television? Before I ask that question, did they get?
He got demoted too.
Yeah, but he's about to be an analyst for the New York Knicks. They picked him up. He's got a contract with them.
That's a soft
Oh,
line.
That's big time, man. But anyway, listen, man. Listen, I want to thank DC and Alexa for chiming on this episode, the Pelicans Media Day reaction. Much love to all you guys for being out there and tuning in. Shout out to you guys. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We got a ball in this one. 2 hours and 30 minutes we went on it. It's been a couple of weeks or something, maybe 2 or 3 weeks since the last stream. And we getting ready, man, to roll into a new season of Pelican basketball. Zion is ready. BI is ready. CJ, Herb, everybody's ready for some Pelican basketball. They all on the same. We got to win, man. We got to win. We got to stay healthy. And listen, family, the key to success is we got a therapist, a physical therapist now.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Are we rolling into an old season with the Saints Q since we roll into a new season with the Pelicans? This is looking just like last year.
Don't mention the Saints right now, brother.
I'm sorry.
I got to get off again. I got to go jump over.
I just saw the title for the show, bro. I couldn't help myself.
What the title for the Saints show?
No staff changes.
All right. So anyway, before DC kills the positive vibe we got going on over here, going in the
It's all
stream.
positive over here. We flying over here, man. The Saints symbol is looking like an anchor though.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Hopefully they turn it around, man. So with that being said, we're going to get out on that. Listen, much love to everybody, man. Thank y'all for being in the stream. We'll pop up. Y'all hit them notifications bells as well. And also, once again, shout out to the Queen Lexa. She's added to the PPR team, man. We welcome Lexa into the squad. She'll be posting reports coming up soon. So y'all give her some love. Check her.
Appreciate y'all.
She's super talented and just an awesome person. So listen, man, thank y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. And we're going to holler at y'all on the next one. Much love to the fam and go Pels.
Peace.
Peace.
To the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelican, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. The Who That Daily